Welcome to the ThePapare Studios, live from the Royal College Sports Complex here as we bring you the pre-game show in preparation for the second leg of the 75th Bradby Shield encounter. The Bradby Shield in 2019, the 75th time Trinity and Royal play each other for this coveted shield, and we'll be looking forward to that game which kicks off in just over an hour or so. Joining me in the studio this afternoon, two very special gentlemen, Abdullah Yusuf and Sudarshana Piris. Abdullah, who captained Royal in 1997, and Sudarshana, who played for Trinity for 3 years, 2004 to 2007. So very happy to have them in the studio. I'm very happy to have you joining us as well from around the world. Remember, you can watch this pre-game show and of course the match live on Dialogue TV channel 77 and on thepapare.com as well as MyTV. And it's our great pleasure to welcome everyone from around the world, Trinitians, Royalists and just rugby fans in general who are tuned into this broadcast, the most looked forward to and anticipated game of the season in Sri Lanka schools rugby every year. And of course, this won't be possible without the patronage of Singer Sri Lanka, your trusted excellence and a household name for electronics and home appliances. Abdullah Yusuf, welcome to the show rather.
Thanks, Annika. Nice to be here.
And good to have you on the show as well, Sudarshana Piris.
Thanks, Annika.
It's going to be a very interesting match, gentlemen. But first we have to look back at what happened a couple of weeks ago up in Pallekele. Not going to be an easy one for Trinity coming back from a 17-point deficit. But let's have a look at how that game went last time around up in Pallekele. We had the first leg, of course, won by Royal pretty easily in the end. And it was quite a surprise that Trinity scored first, Abdullah. You would have thought that the cat has set among the pigeons with this try.
Yes, that's right, Shanika. The thing is, both teams, I felt, in the initial stage of the game were trying to play a bit too much rugby in their own half, and in the process put themselves under a lot of pressure. And that poor clearance by Kalyan Bidilchan resulted in that first try. And then Royal immediately hit back, not through any major effort of their own, rather than a very good defensive effort. But again, Trinity once again guilty of playing too much rugby in their own half. And the third try again came off a turnover ball by Trinity, trying to run out from their own 22, and Royal were quick to pounce on it, and we saw Radhishan going for Royal's second try.
And Sudarshana, you would have been expecting a little bit more, especially after Trinity scored first.
Of course, Shanika, but up until the 40th minute or so, Trinity was still in the game, 20 points to 17, and we saw a brilliant try of Harsha Samarasinghe. This one was scored by Dhirendra Ratwatte, who may have lost it backwards, but nevertheless it was a try. I think the last quarter of the game, that's where Trinity really gave away the Bradby. 17 points in the last 10 to 20 minutes is a little too much to come back to. This was the try I was talking about. Harsha Samarasinghe, look at that pace. He easily beats 4 men and runs to the corner. That's a try he would never ever forget in his life.
I think there's a lot of people who watched that game who won't forget that try either. Outstanding score, but then coming back, a more basic score this time here, but the fundamentals done so well, Abdullah.
That's right. Again, it was the correct lines that they ran at. Managed to draw the defense inside and create the space outside, and resulted in Tuleb's wonderful offload for that try.
Yeah, it really was a good one, but were you expecting the game to be a little bit closer when you went up to Pallekele?
That's right. We predicted a Royal win, but we never expected it to be such a big margin. And as Sudarshan also mentioned, I think it was the last 20 minutes where Royal's superior physicality just seemed to wear down Trinity. And from that point onwards, Royal just took the game away, and most probably the Bradby as well.
Sudarshana, coming into the lead at the end after half-time, 17 points to 15. At that point, what were you thinking? Were you thinking, oh, this is going to be a great heist?
At that point, I was thinking, dear Lord, the second half rather, Trinity needs to work hard to make sure that they keep Royal at bay, because Royal is a team who knows to grind hard, Shanika. Come the latter stages of the game, they know to keep possession of the ball and then convert them into points. Trinity, on the other hand, although they would get a penalty, they don't have a very able kicker in their ranks. So I was a little nervy, but it turned out to be a Royal victory.
Yeah, it turned out to be a big win in the end, and a man who played no small part in that win, of course, was the Royal captain. He was a little anonymous in the first half of the season, Abdullah, but he really did come to the party in the first leg of the Bradby. Big pressure on his shoulders. 75th Bradby have to win the game from the Royal point of view, and he really did make a big impact. Let's look at what some of the things he did in attack and defense.
Yeah, that's right. I think one of the big things is I think the Royal game plan also was made use to try and get him involved in the game much more. You know that he's a very powerful carrier, but we just did not see him getting those opportunities earlier on. And then in that last 20 minutes, he at least managed to get about 2 or 3 turnovers. That, as we can see from that example, this wonderful strength, and then of course this wonderful presence of mind to give that offload for Royals next try. And then of course again, he was absolutely brilliant in defense. Wonderful technique to try and pouch on that ball, and he definitely had a big game for Royal.
Yeah, he really did have a big game, a massive hit also to dislodge the ball for that first try that Royal scored as well. So a real captain's performance, a good mature performance from Tulane.
Yeah, he led by example basically, and you could just sense that the rest of the team rallied behind him. And when your captain just puts in a performance like that, it just lifts everyone. And from Royal's point of view, that's exactly what happened. But also the good thing about that, he was used much more effectively. He's got such a good physical presence about him. He was used to carry the ball, get over the gain line, and that just helped Royal build a bit more momentum throughout the game.
Yeah, it looked a really good performance. And coming into another man who had a very good performance on the day as well, we had Nipuna Yasojana, who played at scrum half and just shaded Tuleb Hassan to that man of the match performance. And let's look at why exactly he did that, because he had an outstanding game distributing and decision making. Again, just finding the right holes and the right people to put into them, Abdullah.
That's right. And if you just look at the defensive effort, how he just read that Trinity play and managed to just spoil that effort. I think, again, another player who was relatively anonymous during the first half of the season just picked himself up for this game, and he was brilliant throughout that entire 80 minutes.
Nice box kick on him as well, really making them contestable. Resulted in one of the wingers also for Trinity having been taken off because that kick was so contestable. So outstanding work from him on the day.
It was pretty much a complete scrum half performance by him. He distributed well. Again, we're talking about the decision making. He knew when to distribute, when to give it to the forwards to take. And also we just saw one try where he took the quick tap, realizing that the Trinity defense was pretty much on their heels, and spread it around. So all round, I think it was a wonderful effort, and another great example of how two players who during the first half of the season were pretty quiet, but for the Bradby, they just lifted their performance.
Cometh the hour, cometh the men. And let's look at Royal's strength. What was expected to be Royal's strength going into this first leg of the 75th Bradby? We have Royal's line out. But Sudarshan, you would have been very happy how Trinity competed in this particular area of the game.
Definitely, Shanak. I think this was maybe the only aspect where Trinity were superior to Royal in the first leg. They managed to spoil the Royal line out, especially this maul. They put in good pressure on the Royalists and also managed to get their line outs cleanly as well. Yet again, the jumpers were committed. They went in for the ball. I think Trinity did very well. Otherwise, we would have looked at a bigger margin if Royal got their line outs clean.
And Royal's not so secret weapon, their driving maul, they didn't get to use it too much. So that was one area where you'd done your homework as well.
Absolutely, because when it comes to the driving maul, especially the Royal driving maul, it's very hard to stop. If you don't get your act right, if you don't hit it hard the first time, when they get going, when they are on the grind, they can make a lot of yards. So Trinity did well in the first leg. We'll see how they manage the maul come the second leg.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit difficult on a narrower field as well, Abdullah. They'll probably go to it a little bit more often. But as a Royal captain, a past Royal captain, you would have been happy to see a complete performance from this Royal side.
Yes, the thing is, one of the biggest strengths is their line out. And despite the fact that that was not working to that optimum level, yet for them to have got such a convincing victory will give them a lot of confidence. Because if they get that area of the game right, then I think it's going to be a long day for Trinity in the field.
Well, will it be a long day for Trinity? Will it not? We'll find out in just over 70 minutes time, of course, after that game kicks off at 4 p.m. You're joining me on the pre-game chat before the 75th Bradby Shield kicks off with Abdullah Yusuf and Sudarshan Apiris. We'll be back after the break.
රස්නේ.
ඔයා දුයනකම් මම පවන් ගහන්නම්කෝ. දරුවට දැන් හරි රස්නේ. ඔයා AC එකක් ගෙනාවද?
ලංකාවේ හොඳම තැනින් හොඳම AC එකක් පොඩි ගාණක් ගෙවලා ගන්න පුළුවන්නේ. ඉතුරු ටික ගෙවන්න පුළුවන්. දරුවා සතුටින් තියෙන එක තමයි අපි හැමෝගෙම සතුට. ඒකයි මම සිංහ එකෙන්ම AC එකක් ගත්තේ. සිංහ වායු සමීකරණ සිනහසේ සිසිලස.
එහා ගෙදර කුමාරිලගේ ලොකුකම අලුතෙන් ලොකු සයිස් එකක් කරා. සයිස් එක ගැනමයි ලොකුවට කතාව. අපේ එක ඉතින් 32නේ. අපිට තෙන්ඩලු ටීවී බලන්න එහෙ. ලොකුවට පේනවයි කියන්නේ.
අපි මොකටද කාගේවත් ලොකු සයිස් බලන්නේ? යන් සිංහරයකට.
ලොකු සයිස් බලන්න සිංහ එකට එන්න. ලොකු බ්‍රෑන්ඩ්ස් වල ලොකු සයිස් TV දැන් සිංහ එකෙන් ටික ගෙවන්න ගන්න. වසර 3ක වගකීම හා සිංහ අලෙවියෙන් පසු විශිෂ්ට සේවය.
ලොකු සයිස් වුණාට ගියේ පොඩි ගානයිනේ.
එළිය සීත රස්නේ අනුව හැඩගැස්සෙනවා.
විදුලිය අඩු වැඩි වුණාම හසුර ගන්නවා.
ඇතුලේ තියෙන කෑම බීම හඳුන ගන්නවා.
දොර අරින වහන වාර ගන්න හොඳට දන්නවා. තාක්ෂණෙන් ස්මාර්ට් වෙලා
සියචියෝ ශීත කරන්නේ.
වැඩ නියමයි හැඩකාරයි දැක්කම ආසයිනේ. 50කට වැඩියෙන් විදුලිය ඉතිරි කරන නවීන තාක්ෂණයෙන් පිරි එකම ශීතකරණය. සිංහ ජියෝ ස්මාර්ට්. very smart.
Very good afternoon and welcome back to the pre-game chat as we anticipate eagerly the kickoff of the 75th Bradby Shield's second leg between Trinity and Royal. Royal taking a commanding lead into this particular game, 34 points to 17. They won up in the Lions' Den in Pallakale, and that was a big win for the Royalists, a big margin that Trinity have to come back from. Have there been comeback wins before? We'll talk about all that in just a while's time. We have Abdullah Yusuf and Sudarshan Piris joining me in the ThePapare studios, and don't forget you can watch this match live on channel 77 on your Dialogue TVs and on my TV as well, and on thepapare.com. Abdullah, let's have a look at Royal's defense. One of the areas where they were absolutely spot on during the season and didn't disappoint in the first leg either.
That's right, Shanika. I thought their defensive effort was wonderful. I think before the start of this game, we spoke about how important it is for Trinity to try and get over that gain line in order for them to give their three quarters some front foot momentum. But Royal's defense never allowed that to happen. They rushed up, always hit Trinity behind the gain line, and from that point onwards, Trinity never managed to recover from that. And more importantly, they did not adjust as well. So that just basically nullified Trinity's main threat, which is their three quarters. As we have a look at that, whatever the hits, it was always Trinity getting hit behind the gain line. If you look at that, and Trinity just could not get any momentum whatsoever. And it just basically nullified their main attacking threat.
It really was a wonderful performance, and it looked like they've read the game and planned. They knew where Trinity's danger men were, and it was a very organized performance, and that's something that you've been using about Royal College for the last couple of years, that they have been very organized.
Yes, they have been very organized, but from Trinity's point of view as well, they're saying that you've got to earn the right to go wide. Trinity, you just felt, were trying to force the issue a bit, trying to go wide a bit too early, and hence they became a bit too predictable. And Royal just managed to maintain their defensive line. They went up together and constantly put Trinity on the back foot.
Although the final result wasn't what Trinity would have wanted, there was a gem of a moment in this game, and I think all Trinity fans who may have played very many years ago right up to now, who may be kindergarten kids also watching this game, would remember for a long time, and that was Harsha Samarasinghe's try, Sudarshana. Outstanding bit of work. We'll look at it in a moment, but that would have made you very happy despite the result.
Oh, absolutely, Shanika. And also the difference between Harsha Samarasinghe's try, as you can see, he got front foot ball. On that occasion, Trinity managed to get him front foot ball, and he was carrying the ball with momentum, and then it was individual brilliance. And adding on to on that replay, you can see he got the ball in a space where he was running onto it. Adding on to what Abdullah said, every time Royal was rushing the defense, Trinity got hit behind the gate line, and when you get hit behind the gate line, it's very difficult for your three quarters to make space, attack that gap and try and create something out of it. So Trinity need to make sure that they work hard and get front foot ball and not let Royal defense dominate terms here at the Royal Complex.
I don't want to disagree with either of you too much, but that brilliant try was scored off first phase ball, Sudarshana. So should they be using that first phase ball a little bit more, Trinity, or should they be trying to hit Royal up, suck in their defenders first?
I think in that moment it was a very rare lapse of concentration from the Royal defense. I would prefer Trinity to try and suck in the Royal defense a little and then try and go wide, because they have pace on the outside. They have people like Harsha Samarasinghe, Geesha Pukulutunga, who might come in to play in the outsides to attack the ball. So I would ideally prefer Trinity to suck in the defense in the middle quarters and then send the ball out wide. Like Abdullah said, earn the right to go wide.
Massive emotional high there with Harsha Samarasinghe's try. They managed to come in and win the lead for a few moments, 17 points to 15 at that point, but then emotionally they seem to go down a little bit further. Trinity with a high error rate in that game. Let's look at a few of those errors. I think we have a compilation of them for you, and this was the first one which really let Royal in and open the floodgates, Abdullah.
Yeah, that's right. Again, Trinity a bit guilty of trying to play a bit too much rugby, and on that occasion Trinity just not being structured. They were again just trying to go wide a bit too early and pay the penalty with that first try. And on this occasion, Trinity just caught on their heels, wasn't it? It was a quick tap by Asojana, good decision making, and Trinity probably didn't expect that. Were probably looking at Royal going to the touch and trying to use their line out to try and go over, but just took Trinity completely by surprise. So you just got to ensure that your concentration levels are at the maximum, because Royal will just exploit whenever there is a weakness in the opposition's armour.
We spoke about organisation, but on that clip what was apparent is that Trinity are very disorganised, Sudarshana. They're not spreading out, they're not guarding the fringes as well as they should. Where do you fix that problem?
Yes, I think it needs to be fixed at the training pitch, definitely. But adding on to what Abdullah said earlier, Shanaka, Trinity's exit strategies from their red zones were in shambles. I think that was one of the biggest errors in the first leg. First two tries, both of them, they tried to play the ball inside the 22, turned over and conceded the points. And when you concede points like that, every time you're going to run the ball, you have that at the back of your mind. It's very difficult to clear that out. I think Trinity suffered from that. But they will have to make sure that they are organised, especially with defence. You can fix that in the training pitch. Defensive patterns and organisation, there needs to be leaders who put their hand up and say, listen, we are going to get organised soon after every ruck. And I didn't see that from Trinity in the first leg.
Yeah, well, what we did see from Trinity is that they will need to change up their game much more if they are to make a dent in Royal, especially in Royal College Fortress here at the sports complex as well. Let's look at what happened after the Bradby though. We've had a 2-week lapse since that game in that first leg up in Pallekele, and since then Royal have played Science College and St. Peter's have played Trinity have played St. Peter's. So we had Royal winning 41-20. Royal rotating their squad there, Abdullah, so I wouldn't put too much emphasis on the 20 points they conceded.
Yeah, that's right. I think Coach Dushant Luke just ensured that he gives some of his players just the amount of rugby that they need and rotated the squad. But if you take Trinity's results, that would have been a real demoralizing effect on the squad. It'll be interesting to see how they pick themselves up. Again, their forwards were just totally dismantled by that Peter Wright pack. So they will definitely need, the 8 basically will need to lift their performance and just try and get some good quality ball for their 3 quarters to do their thing.
Gentlemen, you all both played at a time where the Bradby was towards the tail end of the season, might have been even the season finale, but now you have to play it in the midst of the other games as well. And having a game in the middle and suffering a result like that, Sudarshana, how will this impact the minds of this Trinity College team?
Now, it can be two ways, Shanaka. They can be completely demoralized, but again, it's a Bradby. Some of them will not get a chance to play a Bradby again. That can be taken as a motivation factor as well. They got a chance to hit out at a similar team to Royal. The St. Peter's team, they have very good backs and also a very, very organised forwards unit. Trinity would have definitely taken a look at what went wrong for them in Bambalapitiya, and if they can fix those mistakes that they did last week, especially the exit strategy. I'm repeating myself, even against St. Peter's, they were made to pay because they didn't have a proper exit strategy. Their kicks didn't find touch and their decision making was a little clouded during the game. If they can fix that, I think they would have taken it as a blessing in disguise, playing a game in between the two legs.
Coach Inti Marika, plenty to work on in the last week, and I'm sure he's done that with the help of consultant Rodney Soyalo, also ex-All Black, who is part of the training staff for Trinity College. Jashant Luque also would have been doing plenty to make sure his team is fit and raring to go on this second leg as well. We'll be back after the break here on ThePapare.com.
අඹරන්න මිරිකන්න කුඩු කරන්න නම් අරගන්න ගෙනියන්න සිංග ග්‍රයින්ඩර් වද විඳින්න ඕන වෙන්නේ නෑ වස විස ගන්න වෙන්නේ නෑ ගන්න ගෙනියන්න සිංග ග්‍රයින්ඩර්
වස විස නොකන්න ගෙදරදීම හදාගන්න ජීවිතේ රසමවන්න මික්ස ග්‍රයින්ඩර් උසස් ප්‍රමිතිය අසමසම සිංග වගකීමක් සමගින් සිල්ම සිංග සිසිල් ශාකාවලින් හෝ දිවින පුරා අලෙවි නියෝජිතයන්ගේ
Konnichiwa.
konnichiwa konnichiwa
Single.
මමත් සිංගල්
No, no, no. Sony ගන්න ඕන. Single යන්න ඕන.
it's not single නෝන සිංග එක සැරේ සෝනි කියලා කිව්වනම් සිංග එකට ගිහින් දානවා
ලෝසුපතල සෝනි නිෂ්පාදන දැන් පරම්පරා ගණනක විශ්වාසය දිනු සිංග වෙතින් සෝනි උසස්ම ක්වොලිටියයි සිංග අතිවිශිෂ්ට
Sony
විශ්වාසයයි
ගන්නවා නම් single.
Hello and welcome back to the pre-game chat here as we anticipate the 75th Bradby Shield kickoff in just a few minutes' time, live from the ThePapare studios here at the Royal College Sports Complex. The game will be kicking off just next door to us, and I'm sure we'll hear the roars as we conclude this pre-game chat in a few minutes. Joining me, ex-Royal captain Abdullah Yusuf and former Trinity colorsman Sudarshana Piris in the studio with us discussing the game, and we'll look back at last week's game, but let's now switch our minds to this week's game. It's going to be a very interesting encounter because Royal, would they be guilty of a little bit of complacency, Abdullah, you think, or is this a Bradby and there's no place for that?
Well, we'd like to think there's no place for that, but I'm sure that they will want to get a good win. It's the 75th Bradby, it's a big occasion. You didn't want to lift the Bradby after a defeat, would you? So I'm sure that they'll go all guns blazing, and fairly sure that they'll put in a very good performance.
And what do they need to do today? If you break it down, what do they need to do from the outset?
One thing I would like to see them is have improved their line-out performance vis-a-vis what happened up in Pallakele. If they can do that, and if they had done that in that first leg, it would have probably been a pretty much complete performance. So I'm sure during these last 2 weeks, Coach Dushant Luque would have placed much more emphasis on that. And if they can get a good success rate with their line-out ball, it'll also starve Trinity of possession, and it'll go a long way in just winning this Bradby, and I feel winning it comfortably.
And a couple of positional changes for the Bradby coming in after that long break. Kaligidu Nandila moving to number 10, Lehan Gunaratna moving to 13, and both moves paid dividends.
Yes, it did, but even before that, they used to interchange a lot. Kalindu is much more secure with his boot, so he always comes into that receiver's position when they have to clear to touch. But in this occasion, for the last Bradby, he did play at fly half, and that switch seemed to have, as you said, paid dividends. So I'm fairly sure that they'll probably maintain that same combination for today's game as well.
And who do you see as the key players, Abdullah, going into today's game?
Yes, again, I think Yasojana will have a huge part to play. I thought he controlled the game very well. He bossed the forwards around, made sure they get into the correct positions, made the correct decision when to spread the ball out wide and when to keep it close. I think he will have a big role to play. Another player is Kevin Samarasinghe, the open side. Not just him, but also the entire third row of Indurua and Radishan as well. They have been very good for Royal this year. So I think if that third row can do their thing, get involved in the breakdowns, try and slow Trinity's ball down and keep on hitting them behind the gain line. If they do that, I think you'll find Trinity little by little getting demoralized, and in that, similar to what happened in that first leg, the last 20 minutes Royal can then run away with it.
Well, one factor is that Royal are at home, and we'll look at Royal's form sheet at home. It has been pretty devastating when visitors look at it, and the only time they lost was Tarinder Ratpat's side in 2014. Since then they've won at home. Sudarshan, it's going to be a difficult place for any Trinity to travel.
Of course, it's always been a difficult place for Trinity to travel, but just before those games, I think Murad Ramsey's 2011 comeback will be something this team would like to take inspiration from. Shanaka, even though they can't go on to win the Bradby, they want to get a victory here in that Royal dominance here at Royal Complex. So it's not impossible, but it's going to be a very difficult task, but Trinity, I'm sure, will be up to the task.
Well, stranger things have happened in the game of rugby and in sport, really. The glorious uncertainties of sport, that's why we watch it, really. Otherwise, it would have been a foregone conclusion and everybody would have just handed Royal the trophy and not even come here today. But we don't do that. And one of the reasons we don't do that is because there have been a few comebacks in the course of this Bradby Shield encounter. 75 times it has been played, and 6 times a team has come back to win the Bradby from losing the first leg. But first we'll look at where Royal are standing at the moment. Now Royal at the moment are within 1 year of making that streak. 2011 to 2014 they won, Trinity won for 4 years in a row. Royal won 2001 to 2004, and way back in the day Trinity won for 6 years in a row. Royal will be closing in on that, Abdullah.
Yes, they will be, and it'll be a great effort if they can match that. So again, it's going to be very hard on Trinity. A lot of teams don't come here and win matches, let alone in the Bradby. But I'm sure they'll want to at least put in a good performance, because they'll definitely be very disappointed to have lost up in Kandy.
Well, 7 of 8 legs that Royal have won in the last 4 years, and 4 wins and 1 draw overall. So will you be saying that it's not really a streak, Sudarshan, if you've got a draw in between?
Of course, because you take the Bradby, it was shared in 2016. A lot of people would say otherwise, but luckily for Trinity, Rahul Karnatilaka's team managed to win the second leg and force a draw only for the second time in the entire series. So Trinity will be looking to make sure that they at least break the hoodoo of not winning at Royal Complex since 2014.
Well, that's an interesting factor to motivate this Trinity College team. Let's see whether they can do it for them. But Singer Sri Lanka has been at the forefront of schools rugby, not just the Bradby, but schools rugby. For the 32nd year, they're sponsoring the Bradby. And we have Inshaf Kapoor on hand with Mr. Kumar Samarasinghe to ask him exactly why they've been doing it.
Thank you, Shanaka. This is the 75th Bradby Shield encounter. It cannot get anything better, and this is the second leg of the 75th Bradby Shield encounter. But through the years, I think there has been one single person, one single brand that has been associated with the Bradby Shield. That's Singer Sri Lanka. And I have with me Mr. Kumar Samarasinghe, Marketing Director of Singer Sri Lanka PLC. Kumar, it has been a long passage of time we've seen. I think talk us through that association with Singer and the Bradby Shield.
Yeah, I think Singer is the company who has with Bradby for last 31 years. I say as a company, we are very happy to associate with Bradby, because as I always say, Bradby is not another rugby game. It's a much different and much more culture and much more things behind this good game of rugby. I think as a Singer, as a sponsor for this for the 31 years, we are very proud and we are very happy to associate with this, because there's no doubt this is the best rugby game in this country in the school level.
So be a part of that. I think it's fortunate for us, as well as I think the entire rugby community should be happy that Singer promote school rugby in big way.
Kumar, talking about it's 75 years for the Bradby Shield, and then you've been here for more than 2 decades. Talk us through that journey from when you started to join hands with the 2 schools.
Yeah, it's 31 years ago. I think we started in the smaller manner. At that time, school rugby was not that popular. Of course, Bradby was the game. So our chairman at that time, Mr. Hema Kamarasuriya, we had to mention that. And he thought this, and we started in the smaller way. And Singer, that was the first time in sponsoring the school game of rugby. After that, Singer started sponsoring the entire school rugby. That is entire under 19 to under 13, under 15. All the school games are sponsored by Singer. But for the rugby, for the last 31 years, I have seen this was developed, I think, from one point to the maximum level. I think there is no doubt organizers from both schools, principals, staff, players, everybody is look for this because this was the event for those two schools. And for us also, one of the major events in our promotional calendar.
There you go. It has been a huge journey, a long journey, but a journey that has come with the sport, the Bradby Shield, the Singer School Rugby League, all together. We thank Mr. Kumar Singh Samar Singh for joining us with us here at ThePapare.com. And now it's back to Shanaka at the Papare Studios.
Thank you very much, Inshaf. Always good to see you in those shades, mate. It's a warm day out there, and the crowds are filling in slowly to the Sky Pavilion, and the team's warming up. Referee Ishan Kabekun also warming up, and he's going to be a key man today as well. Superb performance from Akhil Jamaldeen, an old royalist taking the reins at the Bradby, and that's the first time in a long time a past member of one of the two schools has blown the Bradby, and it's great to see that there was absolutely no discussion about him.
Yeah, that's right. I think credit to both schools and especially Trinity for just going along and making the decision to go with probably the best referee in the country to blow such a big game. And it also added to the spectacle. I thought he let the game flow smoothly, did not blow too much. So all in all, I think that also lent to the spectacle that it was.
We know it's 34-17, Sudarshana. We don't need to remind you again, but it seemed a lot closer than that. When you looked up at the scoreboard, you wouldn't have expected to see the game that we did see. Trinity competed, but of course lost towards the last 10 or 15 minutes of that game. But what do they need to do today to make sure that they don't repeat?
I think, Shanaka, what they really need to do is, like we spoke earlier, they need to earn the right to go wide. They have very good backs in their arsenal. They need to make sure that they suck in the Royal defence. Don't let them have the same light speed that they had up in Pallekele. Because if Royal starts getting in your face, it's going to be a long day for Trinity here, because Trinity will be having that 17-point deficit back at the back of their minds. So they will want to make sure that they capitalize on that, and also make sure that they are on spot with their lineouts and the counter mauls. They did very well up in Pallekele. If they can replicate the performance here, they will frustrate the Royalists. Royal will be coming in with a plan to hold on to possession and make sure that Trinity makes the mistake. But if Trinity is disciplined and they go hit at Royal in their own strengths, then I think Trinity will be able to try and make a difference.
And who do you think will be the key players for Trinity going into this game?
Key players for Trinity, I think Harsha Samar Singh, like we all know, is going to be one of those players who Royal will have a mark on, and he will have a huge part to play if Trinity is to dominate. Within the first 10 to 15 minutes, if he can come to the party, score one of those tries, run around and score one of those tries, I think Trinity will take a lot of confidence. And also, most importantly, Ninidhu Jayasundar, who is going to come in as half the first 5/8. He has missed a couple of games this season due to injury. He's coming back from injury straight into a Bradby. It's not going to be very easy for him. So his decision making is going to be very crucial. And also, I think the three front rows, Shanaka, Nimesh Ekanayaka, Madhi Abdullah, and also Niranjan Vitharan, the three of them didn't have a very good game. But if you are to beat Royal, you got to have your front rows put their hands up.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. And like we talked about earlier, we've had comeback wins in this fixture before, 6 of them out of the 75s. That's not a lot, but let's have a look at the last few times that it has happened. 1945, 62, 72 and 79. And then we had the more recent ones. Our commentator Boa Athu played in that famous fixture in 1998 when they came back and undid the damage that Trinity did with that 2018 win. And then 2011, you spoke about that earlier, Sudarshana, with that 8-point loss, and coming back, Murad Ramzin's team just storming over Royal in that second leg. Do you think that we have something like that on the cards today?
I'd like to think something of that sort would take place here, and if so, it will be a record victory. 17 points is not going to be very easy, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for Trinity, but if they come in the correct mind frame, they will at least try to take the second leg. They will first try to secure the second leg and then work on the 17-point deficit, Chanaka. You have to first win the game and then look at the Bradby. If they coming to take 17 points off this first game, then I think the moment Royal scores, they will be frustrated.
Yes, the other thing is, I think Trinity definitely have the ability to score 17 points. I don't think that's in doubt. The problem is when you're playing catch-up rugby, it's not you just scoring the 17 points. You've got to ensure the opposition doesn't score as well. And that is where I think Trinity will struggle, because when you go all-out attack, sometimes you tend to forget your defensive patterns, your defensive game. And that is the balance which Trinity will have to strike.
Speaking of that balance, how does that balance work for Royal, Abdullah? Do they go in and say, okay, we're just going to build on this lead, or do they say, okay, it's a different game, we're not going to concede for the first half, and let's see where we are?
I think from Royal's point of view, the equation is very simple. They'll just go out to try and get the win. I don't think they'll be worried about anything else. Just try and get the win, and the rest will just take care of itself.
Well, it's going to be a very, very interesting game. That much is for sure. You said that it's going to take a miracle for Trinity to come back, Sudarshan, and most of us will agree with you. But have you seen stranger things happen? Have you seen really unexpected things happen from? And do you think this Trinity team is capable of it?
Oh yes, I of course think so, Shanaka, because at one point in the first leg, 20 points to 17, it did look like Trinity could go the distance in the first leg. Come the second leg, if they can score a couple of tries in the first half. I very vividly remember the 2011 comeback. Nobody expected Trinity to come to Colombo and win that game, but as soon as Trinity scored 2 tries, the tries kept coming and Royal were frustrated. Royal had the likes of Shehan Patireno, who has gone on to become a super player for the country as well, but Trinity managed to get that all-important victory. And if I am to give you an example from football, nobody expected Liverpool to make the final of the Champions League, beating Barcelona, but they beat them 4-0. So strange things have happened in sport, and I think Trinity is capable of going the distance.
Yes, exactly. Stranger things have happened in sport for certain, and maybe before your time, Sudarshana, but in 2005, Liverpool came back from 3-0 down at half-time. So who knows? Abdullah, we're talking up Trinity's chances. You're smirking quietly in the corner there. You don't think it's going to happen, do you?
Well, it's possible, but highly unlikely. Let's just put it that way.
Okay, gentlemen, Abdullah Yusuf and Sudarshan Pierce, thank you very much for joining us in the ThePapare studios. Abdullah's got to go off and join a parade in just a moment. So thanks very much for joining us on ThePapare.com, on channel 77 on Dialogue TV and on My TV as well. A warm welcome to all of you. If you're just joining us on this pre-game show, we have our 2 commentators standing by at the moment, Boa Atu and Dinuk Bhaskaran, who have been rubbing their hands and waiting for us to hand over to the commentary box. They are right on site at the moment, and we're waiting for the teams to finish their warm-up and come on to the park for the kickoff of the 75th Bradby Shield encounter between Trinity and Royal. We'll join you at the game.
Very good evening and welcome to Royal Sports Complex. Thank you, Shanaka and Abdullah, along with Sudarshana on that pre-game show. It's a beautiful day. There was a slight drizzle just before, about 5 minutes before, but it has settled down. It's nice and sunny, and you can see the past captains just walking out on that round. It's Royal versus Trinity College, the 75th Bradby Shield, coming to you live on ThePapare.com, Dialogue TV channel 77, My TV, Facebook, and also on YouTube. You can click the subscribe button and also the bell button to stay tuned to ThePapare.com and its updates. Trinity College just finishing their warm-ups and going in. The crowd is slowly building up here at the Royal Complex, and the Royalists are still warming up before they head into the sheds and come back for pre-game procedures. Joining me on the commentary box is Boa Atu. Good evening, Boa. It's a lovely day here in Colombo.
A very good evening to you, Dinuk, and a very good evening to all of our viewers joining us live and exclusive on ThePapare.com. Wherever you are, whichever corner of the world you are, what an occasion, what an incredible atmosphere here at the Royal Complex, aka Jurassic Park. As you said, Dinuk, Royal just finishing their warm-up huddle, and I can actually smell the liniment, the warm air which is heading to the comm box. And as I see all the past captains getting ready for their lineup, a couple of wonderful gentlemen I have played there as well. As you have a look at the crowd, it's building up, it's a steady crowd. It is a very, very warm afternoon here in Colombo. A fairly stiff breeze. It's partly cloudy. Currently 29 degrees. Later we're expecting it slightly to be cooler. I can see a few wet rain clouds up in the horizon. Hopefully it stays away, Dinuk. And let's hope for a fast, open game of quality Bradby Shield rugby.
Yeah, I hope so, because Royal came with their A game up in Kandy, have a 17-point cushion coming into Colombo, and Trinity will hope to come and at least win this game. If they win by 17, it's a bonus. If not, just take the win and go back. Take a lot of confidence. It'll do a lot of good for the next year.
Yeah, well, when I rolled in here today, it was, enormous security. I thought, Donald Trump was coming towards the Bradby Shield. It was like Area 54. So if Trinity are to take a cue from that, it is to be very, very thorough, just like the gentlemen, the wonderful armed forces who were outside, making sure all the security was met to standard. So Trinity need to be very thorough with their systems and processes, make sure they go through all their strike moves, leave nothing in the tank, and make sure they test this Royal side. Remember, this is Jurassic Park. Royal are 12-6. They cannot let them go 13-6. And this is the day, this is the opportunity. Trinity need to play for some pride and earn some self-respect back.
Yeah, the Bradby Shield, the crowd always coming in late today, but it's slowly building up, powered by Singer, of course. As we see the past captains just walking out, and also the colors of gold and blue just on the aisles of this Royal College Sports Complex. We'll just run through the Royal team first who will make it to the park today. Aditya Veerasurya, Radindra Jayasuriya and Radesh Vijayaratna, the front row for Royal College today. Good weighted front row, 95 kilos on average on that front row. And then the second row we have a key player for Royal College. He has been throughout for the past 2 seasons, Fadil Adahan and Samadhi Induru, who has slotted beautifully in that number 4 jersey after playing number 8 for some time.
Fadil with a total of 65 takes in this season.
Kevin Samarsekar, Lahiru Yomal has fitted in that number 8 jersey after coming into that first leg, and Achicha Radishan, another key player, 6 and 7 for Royal. And the halves combination for today, Nipuna Yasojana and young Kalindu Nandila, who will playing his final Bradby today, but he is a key man for Royal College. And then the centres, the skipper, Tuleb Hassan, along with Lehan Gunaratna, the double he got up in Pallakele. He will be wanting to score more today to crack open the Trinity defence. And then we have a change on that left wing with Migara Misanka coming in. Dulan Gunawardana needs to get his kicking right, and Yasis Rashmika is formidable as always on that right wing. We move into the Trinity lineup. Nimesh Ekanayaka and Niranjan Betarna and Mahdi Abdullah, the front row that started in the first leg. They have continued to start with them in the second leg as well, with again good weight. They are 200 kilos in that prop forward. Then we have youngster Umer Ismail coming into the team, and Chetia Pananvala for Trinity College at 5, and Umer Ismail just making his upward movement from the under-18 side towards the first 15. This will be his debut Bradby for Trinity College. And then the third row, Dulanjit Nethwara, Tidas Tantrige comes in place of Lennox Kalyanaratna. A change there, 17-year-old number 8. And then the vice captain Dhiren Ratwata making a comeback after sitting out with St. Peter's. Halves combination very key. Tehan Karunanayak need to have that fast ball coming to the ruck fast and cleaning it out. And Minidu Jayasundara is coming off after an injury layoff at the 10 jersey. He started the season but went off in the mid-season. Now here he is for the second leg of the Bradby, just most 17 points in front of them. Tevin Karunanayak will be key today with Harsha Samarasinghe at 13, who scored a spectacular try in that first leg. He will look for more work today off the set piece if they get it right. And then to finish off, the back three for Trinity College. Lot of experience. Rashan Bandaranaika coming in. Amit Kulatunga also coming in after that head knock in that first leg. And then Janindu Ratnayaka replacing Gishapa Kulatunga in that 14 jersey. So Trinity have made 2 changes in the starting 15 for the second leg, with Umer Ismail and Janindu Ratnayaka coming in after that first leg. Here's Dilshan Jaya, Mohammad Al-Nawarin, Indruwa Ilukpitiya, Abdullah Hamas, Janendra Nanakara, Ravin Shenuka, Malisha Pereira, Abdul Rahman, Avishka Gunawardana, Avin George, Madhush Kavin, Mayanta Adhikari, and Behan Mantila. An extended bench for Royal College. You can name an extended bench because it's the second leg, and also it's a friendly encounter. And then Trinity College with Shakya Senanayaka, Damien Tendakon, Salia Dunumpola, Mekan Yashwant, and Lennox Khaliar are the experience of that bench. Will it be too late for them to come and make a game in this second leg? We'll have to wait and see. Zaid Faisal, Kojana Kulatunga would love to see him more in the game. Boa to complete with Shyam Robinson, Miranga Subasinghe, who started the first leg, and Gisha Pakulatunga have dropped into the Trinity bench.
Yeah, that's a very interesting lineup. Trinity, number of changes, Royal unchanged starting lineup, and of course the naming an extended bench given that it's a friendly. So I'm expecting Trinity with these changes, they will look to attack from depth, look to attack from the very first get-go. Royal stick to their game plan, control the ball, and if at all, if they're going to do anything different, use the conditions and play territory against a Trinity side who are playing catch-up to the tune of 17 points.
Yeah, Trinity will have their hopes high because not long ago in 2011, Murad Ramsingh's team scored 40 points to 5, but that was a totally different team. They took out Arshad Jamaluddin early in the game, out of the game, and then went on to score that 40-pointer. But this is a different team that will be coming up against.
Yeah, like we had a discussion before, it was the good old days, you know, when Trinity, and that seemed like an absolute age ago. You have to understand, this is a very, very well-drilled, very formidable beast of a machine almost. They're very clinical here at Jurassic Park. Once they get their phases going, very difficult to stop. And of course, I think given that this is a non-tournament fixture and given that Royal have a 17-point buffer, they will really look to flex their muscles in that first 50 minutes, look to get the game in the bag, beg your pardon, and then clear their bench. And then obviously stage manage and make sure the workload is well spread amongst their 28 members and make sure that they get the 5-peat, a pentagon of Bradby Shields.
They'll come back. They'll come into this Royal Complex with 17 points ahead, Boa. And will that affect the game, the way they play? Will they try to defend that 17, or you think they should keep on attacking and increase that 17-point buffer?
Well, look, all Royal need to do is just go for broke. If I was Royal, make sure you apply as much pressure, be clinical, back your systems and processes, make sure you really boss Trinity in the set piece. And as we say, both teams walking out to Vangelis. Wow, the adrenaline is really starting to pump, isn't it, Dinuk?
Yeah, it is. Both teams walking out, a hopeful Trinity team and a confident Royal team on the other side, with a 17-point lead coming in here, with their former skipper standing behind them. And I'm sure they will pass a few messages going into this, because they need to control this in the next 70 minutes.
What an incredible atmosphere, ladies and gentlemen. This is reminiscent of the old Jade Stadium in Christchurch, New Zealand. The very same theme song which the very world famous Canterbury or the Christchurch Crusaders walk out to. And as you see, both teams now lining up. And that's a shot of the dignitaries, and I must say, a very good sample of the off-field talent in Colombo. They've come in their droves. They're looking very, very nice. All dressed up for this occasion. They've managed to make it through the many gates of security blankets.
Yeah, this is a team that will be hoping to just take off that 17-point lead in that first 10 minutes if possible, like their teams before did in 2011. Now joining after a short break and a climb is Shanaka Amarasinghe. Good evening, Shanaka.
Good evening, Dinuk. Good evening, Boa. Wonderful spectacle as usual. The 75th Bradby with all its pomp and circumstance. These milestones are really important for this fixture. I still remember the one, the 50th Bradby, Boa, would have been playing under 15 rugby at that time in 1994. But this is no less an occasion.
Oh, look, you know, that was a very big deal, but this is a whole new level. And, you know, I must say the Royal Complex, aka Jurassic Park, feels like the most secure location in the country right now, given the amount of security around us.
Yes, absolutely. I did feel a few jitters coming in, of course, but more from the frisk that I was receiving rather than anything else. And there will be some tired hands among the security forces out there today. But these boys will be raring to go. And the little chaps who are lined up in front of them will be hoping to be there one day too.
Ladies and gentlemen, in memory of all royalists who have departed this life, as well as to pay tribute to all the innocent souls that were taken from us on the 21st of April 2019, I'd like to request that we please observe a moment of silence. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to request that you all remain standing as we pay tribute to both schools. First off, with the Trinity College school song.
It is good to see the school we knew, the land of youth and dream, to greet again the school we knew, before we took the stream. Though long we missed the sight of her, our hearts may not forget. We have lost the old delight of her, we give her honor yet. We will honor yet the school we knew, the best school of all. We will honor yet the rule we knew, till the last bell falls. For working days or holidays, and glad or melancholy days, they were great days and jolly days at the best school of all.
Thank you. And now for the Royal College song.
And lots of men truly will do the same. True to our watchword, this out this day. We will learn of books and men and learn to read again. And read the loyal sons of elders, George with hearts as sound as old. Our lusty throats now raise a cheer for what they have heard march and go. School
Rousing anthems, gentlemen, and as much as you can expect from these two schools, wonderful fixtures, 75th Bradby Shield, and what an honor it is for those gentlemen to come out and sing their school songs to this crowd gathered here today. Boa, it is going to be a cracker.
Wow, that was incredible. I could feel the hairs on the back straightening. The adrenaline was pumping. And you know what, Chanaka, you know what, Dinuk, I wish I was out there. I wish I was lining up wearing my jersey. That is how pumped up I was. And this is incredible. I look to my right, I see a full grandstand. I look to my left, there it is, the beautiful Sky Pavilion. Conditions are perfect. I look right across this surface. You see slight patches of brown, but overall it's a soft surface. It's a good surface. I am expecting fast fours and turbos today, lad.
The principals of the two schools joining Mr. Hiran Muttaya as they're introduced to the two teams. And it's going to be an outstanding game of rugby if the emotions that we are seeing from these boys at the anthems are going to be anything to judge from. Well, warm welcome to all our viewers from across the globe. Whether you've had the privilege of playing a Bradby or not, we welcome you on ThePapare.com as well as Dialogue TV, Channel 77 and MyTV. And these lads who are holding these flags will hope to be in those jerseys one day.
Yeah, the chief guest, Hiran Ted Muttaya. Now, last night was the past players dinner for Royal College, and he gave a amazing speech, nice, sharp and short, and of course he's in remarkably good shape given that it was a night of celebration, lots of liquid consumed.
Sure, that party will spill on over till tomorrow as well if things go the way Royal want it to go. And there's very little to suggest that it will go any other way. This man on the right of your screen, Tuleb Hassan, will be lifting that trophy if he is able to do things according to plan. But there will be a massive surprise if Rashan Bandaranaike was to do so instead.
Oh, I'd be very, very surprised, Shanaka. I mean, Royal red hot, the other form horse, and Tuleb Hassan led from the front and almost Ben-Hur-like performance in the first leg. And I'd expect Royal to come out real hard, make sure that they get their systems and processes in place, make sure that they get their set piece, particularly the line out, in order, make sure they dominate. Trinity, on the other hand, they need to make sure they keep the ball live in play. Don't allow Royal to set, reset, or allow them to use their very strong set piece, and make sure that the game turns out into a game of touch. So it's broken play from start to finish, and they're going to have to empty the tank from the very first minute.
Two key players, Janindu Ratnayake and Amit Kulatunga on your screen, and these players will play their last Bradby today, and they will want to come on top, but it's a daunting task of 17 points ahead.
Ishan Kabekun, the man entrusted with this match as well, he will be under a microscope as referees usually are here in Sri Lanka. Dilum Deshan, Pranit Veranga and Anil Jayasinghe is our experienced TMO as well. So Ishan Kabekun being rewarded for a good season. Boa Akil Jamal did a brilliant job in the first leg. So good that nobody's even talked about the refereeing, and Ishanka will be hoping to do the same.
Oh, look, excellent choice. He's, monitoring this guy right throughout the season. He's very clear. He's got a good rapport with the players. He has the right amount of chatter. He explains his decisions. And you know what? The players actually respect his calls. And this boy, he's fit. So I think excellent choice from the referees society, beg your pardon. And, as you said, all eyes on the referee.
Slight bit of underfoot mud here on between the 50 meters and the 40 meter line, but that's something we've come to expect here at the Royal College Sports Complex, but I don't think it's going to impact play at all.
That's right, Namdila, ball in hand now, going through his mannerisms, bounces it a few times. As you can hear the countdown in the background on the big screen. Trinity ready to receive.
Abekun will wait until the game counts itself down. Khalidun Nandila entrusted with the task of kicking off the second leg of the 75th Bradby, which is underway and taken easily by Trinity that time. Into the 22 for the clearance. And it's Jayasundara who puts that up into the hands of Radhishan. Big tackle from the number 8, Tantrige.
That's good ball presentation. And that's Rajindu Jayasuri, the hooker. There's the ball. That's Yasojana. He gets a runner. Just tackled behind the 50. Have Trinity turn this over? No, they haven't. Royal have it. Yasojana again. And that's a big high-hanging cross kick. And Bandaranaike is pretty solid. He's been tackled. 3 meters in from touch, just outside the 22. Trinity hang on to the ball and they retain possession. As the numbers come in, they flood the ruck. Now they pass it. And that looks like it's Nimesh Ekanaika, the big loose set prop. He takes it just outside the 22. Trinity hanging on to the ball. This is good work. That was Karunaika. As they look to exit, it goes straight down the middle, bounces.
Kalindu Nandila now puts the little chip kick in. A bit of a late charge on him, and the referee's got his arm out for a penalty. And he will bring play back where the ball bounced and say that there was a late charge. And again, that's the kind of unnecessary stuff that Trinity can ill afford facing a 17-point gap.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, if you're going to do that, you're going to give away an easy three-pointer in front of the post, and Royal will take it and extend that lead into that 20 mark. Maybe just that pressure, they want to get off that feet, but that's the control that Trinity needs to show.
Well. First penalty. Will they go left-hand corner downtown? You have to understand, gentlemen, Royal have scored almost 60% of their tries in the very corner. But instead now Dulan Gunawardena holding that green tee. Looks like they'll take the shot at goal. So they're playing the game. Rugby IQ, smart rugby. They just want to get ahead. Build on that 17-point buffer. That's 3 points. Make it 20 points. And then play the game in the right part, Shanaka.
20 points will suddenly look much more daunting than 17 points. Dhirendra Ratwatha guilty of that unnecessary charge. Scored a try in the first leg, but has given the first opportunity of points to Royal College. Dulan Gunawardena knows his ground like the back of his hand, and it will be very surprising if this kick was not right on the money, and hopefully it won't land in our commentary box.
That's right, Chanaka, given that the wind is right behind his back and exactly on the directions from where the tee is, right into the posts. So Gunawardena takes one look up at the posts, sweat dripping down his chin. Takes one another look. Now he comes up, strikes it clean, off the post, and it's through. Yes, it is. The first points in the second leg of the 75th Singer Bradby Shield. Royal on the board as they career away, taking a 20-point advantage. Yes, sir.
Well, honestly, these Sri Lankan kickers seem to have a homing device on the posts. We saw yesterday's game between Wesley and St. Joseph's, 3 kicks coming off the posts, and this is the 4th one, but this one happened to go in.
Yes, and if you recall the first leg, Dulan hit the post twice. Wow. So that's incredible strike rate.
Vinitha Jayasundara now to kick off for Trinity. They are 3 points down and 20 points adrift on the aggregate, which is not how they wanted to start this game. But hopefully the emotions will be settled down now after that rush of blood from Dhirendra Ratwatha, and they're in the right half of the pitch for them.
So Royal looking to play that 2-3-3 structure. They got 3-man pod. There's a long whistle. Looks like it's a high shot, says referee Shankar.
Well, players have to be very, very careful. Even if the player is going at a low trajectory, you've got to make sure you tackle from below the shoulder line. So Royal missing that kick to touch. Will that be a costly error from Kalindu Nandila, going for maybe 5 meters too much? Nipune Asojana, his pass is not a good one and the ball is loose. It's bouncing around everywhere. Is it going to fall into the hands of Samarasinghe? It isn't. And Harsha Samarasinghe almost bolted away with a try in the corner, but it was an unfortunate knock-on.
Well, ghost protocol. Johnny on the spot. He just needed the rubber the green, the ball bouncing away from Samarasinghe as opposed to into him. There you see a replay. Yasojana, that was a bit of a iffy pass. Gunawardena can't get hold of it. Now it's off the foot. Ball propels back. There's Samarasinghe. Timely intervention. That looked like it was Mihisanka, the winger, putting foot on ball, saving the day for Royal.
Dulan Gunawardena thumped away from the ball there, and yes, it was Mihisanka who kicked it out of the grasp of Harsha Samarasinghe. The bounce not favouring him. Cruel sport, isn't it, Dinuk?
Yeah, it is. But a change in patterns of play for Trinity College, not attacking from the back three like they used to all the season. Now they know that the defense is coming up, putting the kick behind, and there was a good chase. That's why you saw the 13, 11, 15, 14. Everybody was up, and that loose ball could have ended in a try because of that good chase.
Yeah, that's right. I think they want to spend or extend their energy in the right part of the field and putting pressure where they have to, as opposed to on the wrong part of the field.
Yasas Rashmika it was with that intervention there, just flicking the ball away from Harsha Samarasinghe, and a big scrum here, the first scrum of the game, and it's on the 5-meter line for Royal. Trinity's scrum didn't look too flash in the first leg. They would have had to do some work on it.
Yeah, that's right. Trinity were a little bit suspect, so it'll be interesting to see the first scrum of this game. And that's Karunayaka about to feed the ball, which he does. Straight out the back.
Nipune Asojana up off his mark very, very quickly. Just making that defensive first phase. Ball bouncing around and not going to hand, and Reshan Bandaranaike has to go and try to clear out. It is well done by Karunayaka to win that one back. A thumping tackle on Chetia Pannavala.
Wow, that was a train wreck waiting to happen. There was a bad pass on the bounce. He got lined up, and guess what? Bang! There you go.
Look at the tackle of the line speed. They're going straight in, and it was a standing start for Umair Ismail, who starting his first game for Trinity College at the second leg of the Bradby. Played good under 18 footy. That's why he's up there. But that was right on his face.
Achita Rajisan with that tackle, and he's a boy that really has impressed me this season. He looks like he's one of those traditional hardcore flankers, and it's good to see.
Yeah, Royal have had a very good history of having some solid number sixes. If I may take the liberty, going back to 1998 as far as I can remember. Rambo or Rachita Adishan. You see the jumper? No, that's Adahan. Yasojana, Namdila. Takes it forward. What a tackle. Wow, that was a big hit. That was Karunayaka. Yasojana retains the ball. Royal ball in hand. That looks like Leon Gunaratna. Now they're going backwards. Yes, they are. That's Mihisanka. He wiggles out of a tackle just in front of the 22. Yasojana again finds a runner. That looks like it was the lock forward. Royal. Was that carried back? It's a big booming thumping kick, and Bandaranayaka. Was that a knock on Shanaka?
Certainly was. And Lahiru Yoma puts a shoulder into Vinithu Jasunda's unnecessary stuff, but not worthy of a penalty for sure. But Rasha and Bandaranayaka will not want to see that one again.
Yeah, that's right. There's a bit of niggle, isn't there? Both sets of players really want to getting in amongst each other's faces. There you see Bandaranayaka, slight knock on, going forward in fact.
He really should position himself with his back to the touchline there, and so the ball, if it did leave his hand, would have bounced in field. He had a supporting player. Easy for us to say, of course, we're not the ones fielding balls dropping out of the sky. But here's Fadil Adahan getting a little bit of attention to his ankle, but he's a tough boy. Nothing's going to take him off unless his leg falls off his knee, I would think.
Yeah, second time today he's been on the ground, put on the ground. And some repair work. They will not want to sub him so early in the game. If they get a sizable lead, yes, they will. On the other hand, Trinity are trying to play too much rugby, giving away a lot of mistakes. Need to settle down.
Yeah, that's right. Trinity, I can understand they're playing a bit of catch-up rugby, but they can't force their playing patterns. They need to be patient. Once they get a roll on and once the momentum starts coming, I think the points will come. They just need to stay patient. Still 10 minutes into the game. They're showing a little bit of nerves. They need to start settling down real quickly.
2 penalties already that Trinity have conceded, and that's something that they cannot afford to keep doing. But it's good to see a little bit of aggression still left in the tank of these Trinity College boys. They're not going to shy away from the contact. They're not going to shy away from a bit of a shoulder to the chest. And that's always good to see. It makes for a good, intense game of rugby. One easily in the front by Royal, who have gone short. Coming into that line was Radishan, who was standing out in the centres. Big bust up the middle. And now it's available for Nandila. Dragged down in the tackle. Good ball presentation once again from the captain Tuleib Hassan. Going short side. Trinity getting over the ball, but referee says no hands. Good communication, Nipunaya Sojana. Here's the big man Aditya Veerasurya.
Was that a slide forward pass there?
Looked like it was. So Trinity will have another scrum feed on the 50-meter line. They didn't do too well on the 5-meter line, so let's see what they can do from the 50.
Royals certainly have got their pods going. It's very unfortunate that they couldn't get that pass right, but nonetheless, gifting Trinity an opportunity, dead centre.
Fadil Adahan may have been a little unlucky with that pass. He does have long limbs, so it might have been a little in front of his body. Karunanaika goes in after this and takes it out of his second row's feet. Jayasundara. Coming into the line was Amit Kulatunga. Looking to use him a little bit more off the blind side wing. Karunanaika puts in the little box kick and it's straight down the throat of the waiting player there, Higara Mihisanka. Heavily strapped leg, but meets a good tackle from Janinda Ratnayaka, who's on the right wing, favoured in place of Geesha Kulatunga. Here's Royal still controlling the ball, even in the face of some very good defence from Trinity. They have managed to hang on to the ball, which has been a hallmark of their game. Yasojana carried back, so he can't kick it out, Nandila. But he'll put Bandaranaik under a little bit more pressure. But Jayasundara had dropped back to field that ball.
So these penalties hurting Trinity. Bit of indiscipline there. They just, as I said, they need to start settling down. They need to be a little bit more relaxed. They need to make sure that they put pressure on Royal so that they can ping the corners. Right now, they're just letting things drift.
Yeah, what they're trying to do, they're in the right part of the field, but they need to get that scrums right. See, they're used to a pattern and they're hitting up that number 12 on that occasion, but there was enough space on the blind side to try and move 8, 9, 14 would have been more effective. So they're just used to that pattern in that head. They want to hit up with the 12, then create another pod. It'll get you tries, but sometimes you need smart play to score tries faster.
And look, I know the back three from Trinity, they're not countering. I think they need to start doing that. You know, it's a bit of a mistake.
Roller going short in the line out again, a 4-man. This is a moral victory for Trinity, and they spoil once again. Nipunaya Sojana with Mahdi Abdullah all over him. But they still manage to recycle the ball. This is a really good organisation from Royal. They know how to have continuity, which is something that a lot of teams don't manage to string phases together. Yasojana directing traffic behind the ruck again and calling for one of his big runners. That time it was Rajinda Jayasuriya who carried it forward. The box kick comes from Yasojana. Fielded well. And here's the skipper. Needs to do something. He kicks from the outside of the foot into open space. Dulan Gunawardena takes it on the first bounce and is dragged down. Yasojana back with the ball exactly where he is. And it looked like Amit Kulatunga may have flown up a little bit too early. Nipunaya Yasojana put his hand in and rolled the ball back, and he took that as a cue to fly up, but it was too early.
Yeah, I'd like to see a replay there. I thought Amit was fine. In a sense, they didn't contest the ruck there. And well, bumblebee time. That was a yellow. I'm not sure what the offence was, but nonetheless, there's been a card issued.
What a bad Bradby for Amit Kulatunga. It has been head knock in the first leg, had to be taken out, stated out 1 week just for this game, and now comes back and then finds himself a yellow card just a couple of meters ahead of him.
Khalidun Abdullah will run back this counter-attack. Nipunaya Yasojana puts his head down, but straight into 2 front rowers, but still manages to get his knees to the floor and make that ball available. Good counter-ruck from Trinity that time. And the knock forward comes. Little unlucky, I would think, Boa. And early on in the game, not even 15 minutes gone, it was offside. But the scrum half did have a couple of goes at the ball. So I thought there were mitigating circumstances, but maybe for consistent offending from the team.
Yeah, I'd really be interested to hear what sort of conversation referee Shankar had with Rasham Bandaranaike. I thought, it was a very innocuous sort of... just having a look there now. Was the man offside? Ooh. It's touch and go, touch and go. Well, I'm not the referee. I'd never make a good referee. I thought that should have been play on.
Well, it looked like he timed it right, but whether he started from an onside position is probably what we would have to ask. But we'll talk about that if it is a game changer, of course. Tehan Karunanaike, the skipper from last time, and very quickly blown up as Tulay Hassan is strong over the ball. Rashan Bandaranaike having a few words with his opposite number.
Well, that was a textbook steal, wasn't it? Straight away, Ben Hurlike right over the top, all the rights to the ball. His hips were firmly planted right over the fallen Trinitian, and penalty. It's easy as that.
See, once again, not going with the number 8 break, used to that 12 ball carrier, hitting the line hard, but there's no clearance. It's a bit hard when you're set for those patterns. Look at this, he goes into contact alone, but Bandaranaike comes from 15, but it's too hard for him to clean out.
Royal using a very good chop tackle method, and there's a pleasant breeze Bandaranaike and Hassan as Suri now, ball in hand.
How are you enjoying the heat in Colombo? They seem to be asking each other, but that's another overthrown line out. The area where Royal are usually so good. Carried forward by Tantrike that time in midfield. Karunanaike looks for the big forward. Trinity trying to gain a little bit of momentum for the first time in this game. But the penalty count has been so high. Referee Shankar has been very quick to blow the whistle.
Yeah, the whistle seems dominated the game quite a bit. And I have to say, thinking about that decision, that yellow card, I think it's just ridiculous. That should have just been either play on or at most a penalty. That was a robust challenge. It was touch and go, but it sort of killed the contest a bit.
Exactly the same place where Harsha Samarasinghe dotted down in Pallekele. The line out is there, and I'm sure Royal would have trained again and again for that 13 channel. Wait and see if there is 3 people in front of Harsha on that occasion.
Ghost protocol. Will lightning strike twice? That is the question.
Trinity have the line out, but assistant referee Veranga says, hang on mate. Royal trying their best to close that gap as much as they can to put some real pressure on Niranjan Vitarana, who's throwing in. And they do well to win this one, although it's untidy. And another penalty. Penalties in quick succession for dragging down the man.
Well, hopefully there's not a yellow card coming. I'm always nervous when there's a long whistle now. There you go. Ball comes up.
Again, a player going off his feet, but got cleaned out. Didn't matter though, because he made the attempt, and referee Abekun deems that that's enough of an infringement. And now Trinity going deep into the 22.
Well, one thing I have to say is Ishanka is very quick to call ruck, and when the ref calls ruck, there must be a clear release. So in that instance, the tackler just hanging on to the player on the floor. And now it's the hooker, Niranjan, ball in hand. Throwing it in, has that been overthrown?
Bustling through is the big number 1, that's Imesh Ekanaika rather. And here's his front row partner, Mahdi Abdullah, trying to bust his way under the post. Karunanaike now. Jayasundara slipping on this turf. Here's the Karunanaike, the other Karunanaike, his twin brother. There's a bit of a clash there, but nothing in it. Karunanaike waits again, takes a couple of steps and passes, but Royal's defense drifts up nicely, allowing no spaces. Jayasundara Slow ball, and Nimesh Ekanayaka invites the defender to come and smash him. And now Jayasundara will have to move it quickly. Niranjan Vitarana finds himself at second receiver. Into the 22, he fights his way. Karunanayaka again. Here's Jayasundara. Floated ball. This is not helping his receivers at all. Again, Karunanayaka goes on the open side, and here's the big man, Nethwara. Manages to make a dent in the Royal defense for the first time. Ekanayaka smashes into the tackle of his opposite number, Aditya Veerasurya. Here's Ekanayaka again, standing and passing. Mahdi Abdullah, in fact it was, and there's another long blast.
So there's 12 faces, Shanaka. A lot of enterprising endeavour from Trinity. Hanging on to the ball, again using the same pattern as in the first leg with their two big men, Nimesh Ekanayaka, the loose head, and Mahdi Abdullah, their tight head, as distributors. And Royal again playing zero ruck, choosing not to contest the breakdown.
It's an interesting passage of play from Trinity. It looks like they're taking their big men up and asking them to have a go at Royal's big men, trying to bash them back. They didn't really test Royal around the fringes last fortnight, so maybe that's what they're planning to do this week.
Yeah, they did, but see, again, I'm talking about the patterns that they have been used so far in this season. Sometimes when you train for that pre-season and come into a season like this, how much ever you want to change it off field, when you come into that mood in game, you just fall into that patterns of what they're doing. Sometimes they can use a bit more, backs to run a bit, or few pick and goes to fox the Royal defense because they're coming up, but they're just using their forwards either side, creating pots, which is predictable to Royal. You can see them right on their knees when they start doing that. Offside warning given to Royal, not a yellow card this time. Lucky on that occasion. Amit Kulatunga still spends 10 minutes. He's on the naughty chair.
Niranjan Vitarana has an important throw in to the line out now. And that is overthrown once again. Fadil Adahan being such an obstacle in the front of that line out for anybody who wants to throw in. But Trinity have done well to retain this. Mahdi Abdullah. Here's Jayasundara, dummies. Tries to go through the gap, but it closes pretty quickly. Here's Tantrige. Pumping his legs. That's a good run from the big number 8. Playing in place of Lennox Kalyanaratne. Nimesh Ekanayaka now. The big men doing the job for Trinity. Jayasundara. Here's Mahdi Abdullah. Rolls. Gets up, and it's a beautiful steal from Tuleib Hassan. My goodness, that was outstanding work from the Royal captain, but he will have to go back for a penalty that happened before.
Third penalty for offside inside the red zone. It'll be interesting if the yellow comes out again. That's number 10, Kalindu Nandila, that is calling for.
Well, I think it's important the ref gets a bit of a grip on this game. He needs to make sure both. And there you go, as on cue. Well. Kalindu Nandila will spend the next 10 minutes. And we're even now, 14 plays 14, 2 yellow cards. Unfortunately, infringing, and penalising, and yellow cards have dominated this second leg of the 75th Bradby Shield.
Well, the thing about consistency is that it's its own worst enemy sometimes. And if you're strict with one team, you have to be strict with the other team. And that's exactly what Abhay Kun was. So we can't fault him on his implementation of the law. But this is going to be a big loss for Royal, especially so close to their line. Nandila is the man who clears them out of danger. And this will also give Trinity a massive fillip, a shot in the arm, as it were, to try and make a game of this.
That's right, Shanaka. I think huge opportunity for Trinity. They must strike now. They have to go, make sure that they get clean ball, nice clean strike.
Simple fox the Royal defense, go off the number 8 because they'll always expect you have a man on extra man on the backside. Just use the number 8 break here.
Kantrige hands off to Karunanayaka, who goes himself, almost gets under the post, but it's a superb steal once again, is it? No, it's not. The ball has managed to come back. Kevin Samarasekar almost doing a job, and it's a try. The first try for Trinity under the post, so they score the first try in Pallakale and the first at the Royal College Sports Complex as well. How is the result going to differ here?
That's right, reward for endeavour. Trinity persistent as ever. Royal infringing, and guess what? The yellow card costing them a try right under the sticks. Trinity striking back. They needed to get some points, make sure that they had something to show for all that consistent ruck recycle. And they score a try as on cue.
7 points to 3. We'll see it from the reverse angle. Straight over the top. And it touches the blade of grass there, and it looked like it was Nimesh Ekanayaka who got over the line.
Well. That was Ratwatta, Dhiren Ratwatta. I would have loved to have seen another replay of that.
Two lucky ones for him in the Bradby. Amit Kulatunga comes back after his 10 minutes on the sin bin.
Was that a blade of grass or was that a pint of oxygen?
Well, Dhirendra Ratwatta should go out and buy himself a lottery ticket sometime this month for sure.
He should. He really should. Well, Trinity now, ball in hand. Is that a slight knock-on? Is that a long whistle? Yes, it is. So Royal now taking their turn to infringe more. Just outside the 22.
So it's a flurry of penalties one way and then a flurry of penalties the other way. So both teams really letting themselves down here. And I think we really need to ask that they step up and stop infringing so much at the breakdown, because Royal seem to want to play some negative rugby to make sure that they don't allow Trinity in. And Trinity are trying their best and losing their feet. So it really is a comedy of errors so far.
Yeah, that's right. Especially at the breakdown, I think the ref really needs to make sure this clear release, this lay and pray. There you see, going into contact, just hanging on. The ruck was called. There's no clear release. Laying and praying, just hoping that they can get away with it. There was Lahiru Yomal, the number 8.
Dhirendra Ratwatta with a good win in the line out, but the pass was at the bootlaces of Karuna Nayaka, who's not the nippiest of scrum halves in the world, and he couldn't get down to it.
A tall scrum half. That penalty coming off after the ruck was Lahiru Yomal who went there. Here's that replay. Good jump in front of Adhan to pick it up, and then that was a bit too hard right down on Tehan. Again, Trinity giving away.
Back in, it's Nipuna Yasojana who has gone to scrum half by the looks of things, and we've got a new scrum half on. We'll tell you who that is in a moment.
Looks like that's Ravin Shanuka for Royal.
Just 13 points the deficit, 2 converted tries. You can see on the new line that we have added so that everybody is clear what the deficit is. Aggregate on top, Royal 37, Trinity 24.
So both sides trading punches. I think Trinity just getting a bit of ascendancy now on the back of all those penalties, and Royal need to be a little bit careful. Shanuka now, ball in hand, about to feed this scrum, which he does, goes to the base.
Now taken off the back. Here's Tuleb Hassan, going to the tried and tested skipper. Big bust up, breaks the first tackle almost every time. Now Yasojana slips in to his favoured scrum half position. So that was just for the set piece. Here they are through Devin Dilan Gunawardena, and that's a great steal as well. Outstanding work from the winger, who's just come back from a seat in his chair and will want to make a difference.
Wow, incredible technique from Kulatunga. Straight over the top like a bloodhound. He was sniffing the prey. The Gilbert 405 True Flight. And guess what? Referee bang on the spot, blows a penalty. So Trinity again, really, they have to make use of these opportunities. They need to put it in the right part of the field, and they need to make sure they get their set piece right. The previous line out, great win by Ratwatta. Unfortunately, the ball off the top, letting them down. There we see, ball's taken in straight away. Look at that. Nice work. It's almost like a bit of a two-man tag team there. There you go, straight over the top. The grey Canterbury scrum cap and the black.
Trinity winning the line out, but coughing the ball up in the process. So giving it away again. So it has been a stop-start game. We haven't seen the fluency that both teams had up in Pallekele. And that has made for a bit of the spectacle being reduced here in the first half an hour, but then again, we've got plenty more time to go. A big scrum is what Royal will require here to get themselves into the opposition half.
I think Trinity might need to reconsider some of their option taking if on a penalty. Maybe take a shot at goal, get some points. You know, and as we say, Trinity penalised at the scrum, boring in. So that means Leon Gunaratnava Royal will take up the kicking duties and look to thump this into touch towards the Brandick Sky Pavilion, which he does now.
And that one is not into touch either, so the wind from the Sky Pavilion is proving to be a little bit of a problem even for the home team. Swirling around there. And taken that time by Radhishan. He's a danger man. Dragged down in the end by Chaitya Pannavala. Yasojana with a nice long ball out to Lehan Gunaratna, who spots the space. The Trinity defender is back and it's a high kick. And it's dropped this time by Yasojana, who came across, Ravin Shanuka, who came across. And here's Bandaranayake playing at scrum half. Pannavala needs his big prop forward with him this time. Karunanayake now puts the deep kick and Radhishan is back.
Radhishan very prominent at that back play. Rambo, the man with the headband, taking it forward. That's Jayasuriya playing half back. Taking it forward, that's a good bust up. Ball's placed backwards. And that was Induara. There's another pick and go, one out, one back. Royal looking to rumble. Yasojana gives it out. They've got numbers. That's Tule Basan, but the last pass is grasped. That was Mihisanka on the left. It's a good steady crowd in the grandstand. I think right now the talent off-field is slightly trumping the talent on-field.
Comeback wins, Royal in 1979 and 1998. You were part of that team, Boa, that won in 98, and Trinity with Murad Ramzan in 2011.
Yes, that's right, 1998. That was a glorious year. We were upset 20 points to 18 at Sukadadasa Stadium. It was a shock, a mother of all upsets. And then we made the trek up to Kandy and pretty much thumped Trinity 42 points to 11. Very nice memories, which we went over last night over many a drink at the past players' dinner.
Yeah, a lot of Trinitians were hoping for a replay of 2011 today, but doesn't seem like so far ahead of the scoreboard still. That's Murad Ramzan just on that 75th Bradby Shield. You can see Manoj Jayatissa, the 1983 captain.
Well, hope is a big word, Dinuk. We live in hope.
Next to him, Hari Soma as well, former Trinity Lion great, who is now part of the management of the Sri Lanka team, as well as Kulatunga flies up and catches Yasas Rashmika. Doesn't release the ball, Rashmika. And the referee says holding on. Karunanayake thinks about taking it quickly, and I don't know why he didn't.
They should have certainly gone for it. Royal were on the rack. They were at 6s, 7s, 8s and 9s. There you see that. That's a beautiful pinpoint cross kick. And the winger comes in, he holds it up. He should have given it up Dulan Gunawardena. Instead, he hangs on for dear life. They probably saved 5, if not 7 points there. Based on what we've seen, was that a cardable offence?
Based on what we've seen, I would think certainly it was a professional foul or a cynical foul, as it were. Dulan had no option, but neither would referee Abekun if you think about it.
Sanity prevails, so Karunayake about to feed this scrum. He does now. And that's Tantirige at the base.
Karunanayake now with the wobbly ball out to Jayasundara. Karunanayake again finding Bandaranayake now, the skipper, having the ball in an attacking position for the first time in this game. Trinity almost cough it up, but Karunanayake again with a wobbly pass. And that time it was Nethwara who took it forward. And here's the big man looking for a pass away. Harsha Samarasinghe. Dinendra Ratwatta, who's got the tries to his name, on the tram lines. Ekanayake busting forward, 7 or 8 meters short of the Royal line. Jayasundara Radhishan slips, but he still manages to do enough for the fly half to cough the ball up.
Well, I thought Trinity were very unlucky. I had a question mark over Radhishan and his position. Did he retreat from an offside position there? There's the passing and just slipping over and losing the ball. And you know what? Credit to the referee right on the spot.
Isipatana leading 14-6 at the St. Peter's College grounds. Another very crucial league game. Wesley toppled Joes yesterday. This is a friendly game, of course. Will not make a difference on the points table.
This is a scrum that Trinity can ill afford to give away a penalty. They really got to bust this one back. With Kalindun Andila not in the ground. Here's Induvara who comes off the back. But the referee will come back for a reset.
Yeah, he was very quick to blow that. He wasn't quite happy, and probably rightly so from a safety perspective. But Trinity, you know, they're playing the right patterns, especially skipper Bandaranaike. Over the last 5 minutes, he's finding his feet. He's coming back into the game. They're running a lot harder. They're attacking the line. And this is what Trinity need to do.
And watch that scrum again. Not great conditions underfoot, but Royal's second row is going quite high there. And I would have thought that Trinity were in the ascendancy in that scrum. Nimesh Ekanaika's hinges around, and this is Induvara coming off the back. Good tackle on him by the number 8 Tantrige. Nipune Asojana will slow things down, calm his team a little bit. Just make sure that they exit safely. And that's the box kick, goes directly into touch, and it's a good one as well. Buys his team about 20 or 30 meters.
If we take possession, it's about 80-20. Trinity have parked themselves in that Royal half for about good 25 minutes, but just coming away with 7 points in the meantime, giving away penalties and knock-ons. On the other hand, Royal came once inside the Trinity 22, got 3 points and went back.
Yeah, they've really let slip the opportunity. Left hand downtown corner shop, really. They haven't even made an attempt to play in that part of the field.
Thought it was quite telling that with that gap, Royal opted to go for points in the first opportunity. Maybe giving Trinity a little bit too much respect there. And Tevin Karunanaike, who scored the first try in the first leg, carries the ball forward. Bandaranaike's kick may be a little bit too deep, but Dulan Gunawardena chooses not to fair catch. Does well to pirouette out of a couple of tackles, and we've got another penalty coming up. So this really has been a lot of shoulder exercise for referee Ishan Kabekun on both arms today. Still playing the advantage.
That was Kevin Samarasekara taking the carry. Yasojana now passing it to Induvara. Has he rolled the wrong way? Beg your pardon? No, he hasn't. The ball's available. Yasojana now. Will he look to box kick? Yes, he will. Ball's up in the air. That's a good high-hanging kick. And that's Trinity winger. Was he doing a bit of a crawl there? Doesn't matter. Now they go wide, and that's Karunanaike there. Can he offload? No, he can't. Minindu gets over. Karunanaike, the other sibling, and that's Amit Kuladunga steps in. Can he get an offload? Yes, he can. And that's Harsha Samarasinga taking it forward. Trinity on a roll, and that's Karunanaike. He gives it out to Jayasundar. He finds a willing runner, and that is the big prop forward. Nimesh Ekanaika. Can he go all the way? He's brought down 5 meters short. Trinity on a roll, and that's Mahdi Abdullah. He's now 3 meters short. Can he take it all the way? No, he can't. But Trinity have numbers. Yes, they have, and that is Samarasinga. He's inches short, brought down. Trinity recycle. Are they over? Yes, they are. Try time. Trinity score.
Just before half-time, this is where they need to strike. Look at the aggregate, 37 points to 29. Just 8 difference. If the conversion goes through, they'll be come down to 6. A converted try. The Bradby is going back halfway past for a couple of candy, but it's too early to call. But what a try from Trinity College. Faces after faces. Control. Good spread of the ball. Look at his hands. Lovely hands to Harsha Samarasinga. Has that left step in. And then from there on, it was Minindu Jayasundar, a comeback game for him. Scores a try.
I think it was outstanding composure from Trinity there. Lots of the ball carriers made sure that they kept their options open. Minithu Jayasundara coming back into that game. And again, a very, very close call there.
Well, I'd love to see a replay of that. And do understand there is a TMO available.
I hope Minithu takes this kick quickly as possible. Doesn't matter if it goes in or not.
Oh, look, I think, the endeavour needs to be rewarded. That was inspirational stuff from Trinity. Loved it, Absolutely.
Started by skipper Reshan Bandaranayake once again. Made a few inroads, and what a run from Nimesh Ekanayake to set that up. Mahdi Abdullah played his part as well. And Jayasundara hooks it off to the left, but it doesn't matter because they've still got their 5-pointer. And that means that they've got a 9-point lead, which means they have left with 8 points on aggregate to try and catch up. Good work from Nethwara there to draw and pass. Harsha Samarasinghe did well not to try and reach out for the line. Stayed patient. And Minithu Jayasundara, did he manage to get that ball down? Well, referee Ishan Kabekun was not obscured by Nipuna Yasojana there. He was on the spot and we have to trust him.
It touched that single white grass.
Is that blade of grass you're talking about as opposed to the pint of oxygen? Well, look, anyway, the try's been awarded. We got to move on. And, of course, as you said, Shanaka, the referee was right on the spot and you got to go with his judgment.
Well, as we look out over Colombo's skyline, this is turning out to be a much more closer game than we anticipated. Trinity have woken up in the last 10 minutes or so, and if they can keep this momentum up with them going into halftime and coming back after the Lemons break, it's going to be a very, very important segment of the game, that first 10 minutes after halftime. 12 points to 3 at the Royal College Sports Complex. We've had 6 comeback wins of the Bradby. Is this going to be the 7th, Boa? We'll find out in a bit. Here are the highlights. First try scored by Trinity. Ishanka Bekun on the spot again. Dinendra Ratwata was adjust to have touched just enough of the ground there. And here's Harsha Samarasinghe getting close, but finishing it off was Minithu Jayasundara. Good body position, didn't lose the ball and got to there just in the nick of time.
You have to say, Jurassic Park, the blades of grass are quite thick, so probably the contact with the Gilbert was sufficient for those tries to be awarded. So nonetheless, Trinity lead this second leg, 12 points to 3 after the first 35 minutes. And we'll be back for the second half, for this 75th second leg of the Bradby Shield after this commercial break.
Singer Pantry Cupboards. Elegance. Crafted excellence. Durability. Custom made. Available at all Singer Homes and Singer Mega showrooms. Singer Furniture. Inspiration for modern living.
ඔයාද උයනකම් මම පවන් ගහන්නම්කෝ. දරුවට දැන් හරි රස්නේ. ඔයා ඒසී එකක් ගෙනාවද?
ලංකාවේ හොඳම තැනින් හොඳම ඒසී එකක් පොඩි ගාණක් ගෙවලා ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඉතුරු ටික ගෙවන්න පුළුවන්. දරුවා සතුටින් තියෙන එක තමයි අපි හැමෝගෙම සතුට. ඒකයි මම සිංහ එකෙන්ම ඒසී එකක් ගත්තේ. සිංහ වායු සමීකරණ සෙනෙහසේ සිසිලස.
එහා ගෙදර කුමාරිලගේ ලොකුකම අලුතෙන් ලොකු සයිස් එකක් කරා. සයිස් එක ගැනමයි ලොකුවට කතාව. අපේ එක ඉතින් 32නේ. අපිට තෙන්ඩලු ටීවී බලන්න එහෙ. ලොකුවට පේනවයි කියන්නේ.
අපි මොකටද කාගේවත් ලොකු සයිස් බලන්නේ? යන් සිංහරයකට.
ලොකු සයිස් බලන්න සිංහ එකට එන්න. ලොකු බ්‍රෑන්ඩ්ස් වල ලොකු සයිස් TV දැන් සිංහ එකෙන් ටික ගෙවන්න ගන්න. වසර 3ක වගකීම හා සිංහ අලෙවියෙන් පසු විශිෂ්ට සේවය.
ලොකු සයිස් උනාට ගියේ පොඩි ගානයිනේ.
සතුට බෙදන නම
ඔබ ළඟ රැඳි නම
සැනසුම දෙන නම
එය සිංහ නම
මිහිර මවන නම
පවස නිවන නම
සෙනෙහ බෙදන නම
එය සිංහ නම මුළු පවුලට සතුට සදන සිංහ අති විශිෂ්ට විශ්වාසය අඹරන්න මිකන්න කුඩු කරන්න නම් අරගන්න ගෙනියන්න සිංහ ග්‍රයින්ඩර් වද විඳින්න ඕන වෙන්නේ නෑ මස විස ගන්න වෙන්නේ නෑ අරගන්න ගෙනියන්න සිංහ ග්‍රයින්ඩර්
වසවිස නොකන්න ගෙදරදීම හදාගන්න ජීවිතේ රසමවන්න මික්ස ග්‍රයින්ඩ උසස් ප්‍රමිතිය අසමසම සිංහ වගකීමක් සමගින් සිල්ම සිංහ සිසිල් ශාකාවලින් හෝ දිවින පුරා අලවිනියෝජිතයන්ගේ
Konnichiwa.
කොනිචිවා
Single.
මමත් සිංගල්
No. Sony ගන්න ඕන. Single යන්න ඕන.
It's not single නෝන සිංග එක සැරේ සෝනි කියලා කිව්වනම් සිංග එකට ගිහින් දානවා
ලෝසුපතල සෝනි නිෂ්පාදන දැන් පරම්පරා ගණනක විශ්වාසය දිනු සිංහ වෙතින් සෝනි උසස්ම ක්වොලිටියයි සිංහ අති විශිෂ්ට විශ්වාසයයි
Sony ගන්නවා නම් Single. Pocket එකටත් easy. Single washing machine දැන් easy, lazy. මාතික රසයි. අලවියෙන් පසු සේවාවයි. Single වගකීමයි එක්ක පහසු ගෙවීමේ ක්‍රමයට අරගන්න.
විවේකයටත් easy මගේ වැඩටත් lazy
හොදන්නත් හරි easy.
Single washing machine දැන් easy, lazy.
මාදිලි රසයි අලවියෙන් පසු සේවාවයි සිංගල් වගකීමයි එක්ක පහසු ගෙවීමේ ක්‍රමයට අරගන්න ගස්සන ඩඟ මල්ලද හිත දෙනවද සලකාලා වස්සන පිනිවැස්සට තනිවෙමුදු
Feel it, rock it, love it.
සිංහ වෙතින් සෝනි
Singer Pantry Cupboards. Elegance. Crafted excellence. Durability. Custom made. Available at all Singer Homes and Singer Mega showrooms. Singer Furniture. Inspiration for modern living.
Very good afternoon and welcome to ThePapare.com, Dialogue Channel 77 and My TV, as well as we bring you second half action from what has turned out to be a torrid affair here at the 75th Bradby Shield second leg. Trinity are leading Royal. Nobody anticipated that going into halftime, especially after the drubbing that Trinity took up in Pallakale. But Boat Korala and Dinuk Bhaskaran in commentary have been giving each other high fives during the halftime break because this is turning out to be a cracker.
Oh, look, we all wanted to see a contest, and that's what we're getting. And Royal, I think they'd be slightly concerned. And if there's a sign to be had, they're taking their time coming out of the tunnel. They've spent a little bit more time discussing, hey, what's up? What do we need to do?
Coach Inti Marika has made a change, has brought in experienced Lennox Kalyana Ratna into that 8th spot instead of Tidas Tantrige, and he will want to prove a point. His last Bradby here at Royal Complex, and he has been benched and brought in.
That's right, the man who's played 4 Bradbys, 2 for Trinity and 2 for Royal. It's a pretty impressive record as we're about to kick off this second half. Vijay Sundara.
Second half is underway. 35 minutes stand in between Tuleb Hassan and the Shield. A brilliant win for Royal up in Pallakale, but Trinity look like they're up for this one. Big bust up the middle, and Royal will go to their tried and tested method of the picks and goes. The brand of rugby that has worked so well for them over the last few years. Beautifully taken that time by Bandaranayake. The skipper has come to the party for Trinity today, been much more involved.
Kojana Kulatunga has come in for Tehan Karunanayake. A good move to pace up the game.
Kojana Kulatunga seems to have developed a box kick over the last fortnight as well. And oh, that was offside. That's going to be a massive problem for Royal if they lose a man to a yellow card again. Achita Rajeshan, you can see this pressure is getting to Royal, Boa.
Oh, you gotta love it, guys. You gotta love it. It's all on. It's all on for Donkey Kong. Absolutely, Trinity. And I thought there should have been a little bit of advantage. See how that charged out. There was a lot of pressure. And what's the option? What will Trinity do? So what will Trinity do? They're in a huddle. Will they take the points or will they look to the sidelines or the touchline, beg your pardon? Look for a line out.
Yeah, put the ball into the Royal territory where they love to maul and put them on the maul. That'll be a big psychological boost if they do that.
So here's a replay. That's Kujana. Puts the ball up in the air. There's a bit of miscommunication and just instinct in it. And guess what? Ishanka got the call right. And if you recall the last All Blacks v Lions test, Jerome Garces didn't get it right. So well done, Ishanka.
You're absolutely spot on, boy. I'd love to have seen an advantage played from that because the chaser was on it like a panther. And he was heading towards the line. It was only little Nipuna Yasojana that he had to drag back. So I would have loved to see a little bit more advantage played there.
Gentlemen, this is where the rolling maul works so well for Royal College. Will they try one at that Trinity College? We have to wait and see.
So if anybody is wondering why that was a penalty, it's because Nipuna Yasojana played the ball in front of the man that last touched it. So it was a knock-on, and if you play the ball in front of your man, that's the offside penalty. So that's the substitution. Kujana Kulatunga on for Tehan Karunanayake. And now Niranjan Vitarana throws in for probably the most important line-out he will ever throw into. Beautifully taken by Nethwara. And now Trinity will try to give Royal a dose of their own medicine. It's charging forward.
And there's the advantage.
And that's the penalty.
Can they take it forward? And the try is scored! Yes, they have. Trinity giving Royal some of their own medicine. Left hand, downtown corner shop. They controlled the driving ball very, very well. And they went over. Try time.
Lennox Kalyanaratne, who scored that try, he knows how to do that. That's why it was done here. And Trinity are back within 3 points for the Shield.
Well, well, well. Who would have thought this was possible? Jurassic Park. Guess what? The T-Rex, the hunter, is being the hunted.
Lennox Kalyanaratne scoring as he has done in that corner from the time he was a 12-year-old probably. Just scoring in different colours this time around, and boy, he would have enjoyed that against his old teammates. He left with no love lost, and if the tables are turned here, he will be one of the happiest men in the stadium. But there's a long way to go yet. There's 30 minutes left on the clock, but this is a good way for Trinity to start. But let's not forget, before anyone gets ahead of themselves, that Trinity were leading last week, 2 weeks ago, 17 points to 15 before Royal came back and pummeled them with their physicality later on in that game.
As you can hear the background noise, that's the new Royal as the kick is about to be struck. And it's slightly wide of the right-hand upright. So the score remains 17 points to 3. Royal have a 3-point advantage on the aggregate, 37 points to 34. There you see the replay, the ball is at the tail. Royal will now bring down the maul illegally. And the penalty is forthcoming, bringing it down, driving it over. Try time, Lennox Kalyanaratne.
Fadil Adahan, who has been a little absent in the line-out today. They will be expecting a little bit more from him. The Royal fans finding their voice. Unfortunately finding their voice while Jayasundara was lining up that kick as well. And Umair Ismail, who has been prominent in this game rather. Pujana Kulatunga carried back for Jayasundara. And again there is a late charge. We think the referee may have missed that one. But a good chase from Trinity that time as well. And pinning Royal back on the 50-meter mark. Royal will now once again go to their familiar pattern of pick and go. This is where Trinity have to try and make a difference. The big man on the park as well is a replacement.
Mekan Yashwant comes in place of Chetia Pananvala.
The game's really come to life, hasn't it, gentlemen? 40 minutes and there's some real big tackles. Trinity. Lennox Kalyanaratta there wearing the number 20 jersey and the green fluoro boots. Now there's a two-man pod. Was there an obstruction?
There's an offside first, says referee Abekur, and it's taken quickly by Yasojana. Kalyanaratta drags him down. Manages to hang on to the ball, the little scrum half in the face of a jackal. And now Royal have a head of steam up. Busting forward through their familiar big forwards.
Here's the one out, one back from Royal. Will it be a pick and go? Yes, it will. That's Adahan. He places it back. That's Yasojana, the halfback. He wants to find a runner. Now he does. That's Samarasekara. And there's a big yawning gap. It opens up, but it's brought down. That was Gunawardana. He places the ball.
And now it's Yasojana again looking for the big man, Lahiru Yomal. An outstanding tackle by Mekan Yaswant. So Trinity able to bring some experience off the bench. And Yasojana puts in a kick and easily fielded by Reshan Bandaranayake.
Well, this is like a Rocky movie, isn't it? Remember when Rocky Balboa, he went to Moscow to fight Ivan Drago? That's what Trinity are doing. They're taking the fight to Royal. I think we've got a real nail bite on our hands, ladies and gentlemen.
Couple of slaps by Tulebas and wants that forward engine working for Royal College. Will they go for 3 points? No, they're not going for touch. Big call by Royal.
Massive call. If I would have thought they would have taken the shot at goal.
Check option coming in from referee Veranga. I think they might be looking at that previous charge down when Reshan Bandaranayake fielded the ball. So just before going about 3 or 4 phases back.
I'll check on it.
Trinity parents, anxious Trinity parents at the first 15 team.
Inside 40.
Interestingly, that's the first time the TMO has been asked to make a ruling. There were potentially a couple of instances. There you go. That's Nandila coasting through. Wasn't it, Shanaka? It was a case of, I think, as you said, they were looking at the wrong part of the footage. So all he did was just hold the game up for about a minute. Now the referee.
We don't know what that one was for. Well, this is utter confusion. Pujana Kulatunga goes off. He doesn't know why.
The TMO's decision was there was no clear foul play to go ahead. And then if that was a yellow card, that's what Pranit Veranga suggested. I'm not sure why it is, but it's all confusion here at the Royal Sports Complex.
Haribu Nandila returns from the sin bin and puts his team into the corner where they're going to be most dangerous. And despite all that, Royal will want to make sure that they win this line out and drive it over to get a 7-pointer of their own.
Well, nonetheless, a bit of confusion reigning there. A yellow card has been issued. Not for the first time in the game. It means that Trinity are down to 14 men. Kujana Kulatunga in the bin. And there on your picture is Jayasuriya throwing to Adahan. He brings it down. There is the driving maul. Can Royal shepherd this over? There's the advantage from Ishanka saying that it was brought down illegally. Royal maintaining their shape and they're driving this over. Can they take it over? There's another meter. They're almost over the whitewash and the try is scored. Yes, it is. Royal striking back. Surprise, surprise. It was a driving maul.
Again, the lead extends for Royal College to 8 points now. And that was just after that at the scrum of Reshan Bandaranaike wants clarity. He's walking behind Ishanka Bekon. But nevertheless, well-drilled Royal Maul. Good body positions. Look at that. Nicely held up by Fadil Adan. Good push towards Trinity. Trinity body position not good at all. There are about 5 players trying to counter. But there is only 3 properly engaged, also standing up. Royal good body position. Pushing Trinity back and scoring that crucial try to extend the lead to 8 points.
Did that yellow card cook Trinity's goose in that phase of play, gentlemen?
I think it did demoralize them, Boa, but this was going to be an unstoppable maul anyway. Royal are deadly dangerous from those positions, and it was very unlikely that they were not going to score in that instance, especially after Adahan had taken a good ball at the front of the line out. Important kick for Dulan Gunawardena here. Not so much it would have been as it is in the context of this game night right now, because it looks like Royal needs every point they can get.
Hurry up. Yeah, that's right, Shanaka. I mean, look, the call's been made. We've got to move on. And then result, Royal going over for the try by the corner.
Yeah, the crucial point is the next 8 minutes, because Kojina was sent in to speed up the game and he's a scrum off. Trinity will have to find another scrum off there as the kick comes in and he slots that warp far past the right post.
So it's 42 points to 34 on aggregate. A 9-point lead in this game, but an 8-point lead on the aggregate here. Watch Adahan comes into the game for the first real time this time. And number 2 is not the best position to set up your driving maul from. But Royal did really well with that carry. And in the end, it looked like it was Rajinder Jayasuriya who went over for the try. And now it will be Minindu Jayasundara to try and get his team down into the corner where they can do a little bit of damage. Nipuna Yasojana to Lehan Gunaratna, who puts the touch kick in, and that's a good one from Gunaratna just to settle the nerves and make sure that Royal get out of danger.
I think Trinity, they really need to start honing in now. This is the opportunities now. They got some momentum. Yes, they conceded a try against the runner play, but they need to regroup, restructure, trust their processes. I'm starting to really like some of their attack patterns. They're starting to get some real go forward. As you see, Netwara throws the ball in. It's untidy ball. And is that a slight knock on? Looks like the ball's been shepherded back out into touch. So we're going to have another line out.
So the assistant referee has called a knock on from the Royal defensive jumper. That was Adahan that time going up. And might have played a little bit of advantage there because Trinity did have the ball. So we've seen a bit of a stop-start game where the officials are quite happy to intervene at the first given opportunity.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel, ThePapare.com, search papare.com, click the subscribe button and click the bell button for updates of all sporting activities in Sri Lanka and around the world. Amit Kulatunga, no stranger to play at 9. He has played there before he steps in.
Watch for Lennox Kalyanaratna off the back here, but Kulatunga feeds the ball instead to Jayasundara, who puts a little bit of a chip kick in and taken well by Dulan Gunawardena coming in off his wing.
So that's a bit of a wasted opportunity, gentlemen. They really need to hang on to this ball. When they're down to 14 men, they need to make sure that they hang on to the ball and really force Royal. And is that ball out? No, it isn't. And that's a tricky little bounce, eluding everybody. And that's Jayasundara. There's a bit of football. Now it's Yasojana, straight to Jayasuriya, doing a bit of a cross country. And is that Mahdi Abdullah straight over the top? Surely that should have been a turnover.
And Netwara also very lucky to get away. He was well in front of the kicker when he charged that ball down. Reshan Bandaranaike, as safe as houses he's been today. looks for the corner. 28. And taken easily by his opposite number, Kalindu Nandila. Rush. Bandaranayaka does well again. Beautiful step from the Trinity skipper. He's been prominent in this game so far.
That's great ball placement. You can see that's a Barbarian Gilbert 405 true flight. Taken forward.
Mekan Yashwant smashed back in the tackle there. But Trinity will still have the ball, and that's all they will want.
That's Dhirendra Ratwatta now. Pick and go, 1 out, 1 back. He does that well. Placing the ball.
Amit Kulatunga will now go to the short side. Nice little dummy from Ismail.
Kulatunga again now, playing the halfback. That's a looping pass straight to Nimesh Ekanayaka with the red headband. That's good ball placement. Look at that, like a lotus being offered for worship at a temple. That's how good that ball was placed. And that ball's been put up in the air. That's Dulan Gunawardana. And that is the skipper, Hassan. He leaves it back. Is there a bit of an advantage?
Well, that was an unfortunate drop from Tuleb Hassan. You can trust him with the ball in hand. Trusted excellence, just like Singer. But unfortunately, that time he left it behind. An uncharacteristic error from the skipper. And a big bust up the middle from the big number 4, Samadhi Induvara. And now Tuleb Hassan has it again.
So that's a couple of carries there from skipper Hassan, all within the time frame of about 30 seconds. And there's another big bust up. So all the Royal forwards, that was Vijay Ratna, the tight head prop, Yasojana, Nandila, inside pass, looks to release Kevin Samarasekara, the open side flanker. He places the ball. Yasojana, Nandila, Adishan, the man who resembles Rambo. He's in the wars. Was that ball hung on to for too long, beg your pardon. As Yasojana comes to the back. Now it'll be a 1 out, 1 back pick and go. Yes, it is. Royal in absolute control. It's not much meters gain, but it's slow, painful. Route 66, straight up the guts. Yasojana, box kick. Where's Bandaranayaka coming forward, but Adishan beats his man, offloads to Hassan. Hassan hanging on to the ball, but that's a great turnover, surely that has to be. But Yasojana Gunaratna, that's a fierce tackle. That is some serious contact. Seems like there was a high shot, says the referee. Royal now rumbling along. That's Radesh Vijayaratna. Is the ball stuck? Now it comes back. Yasojana. That's Induvara. There's the offload. But it goes to ground. Unfortunately, the referee says it was a high shot. I thought there was nothing wrong with it. Should have been play on.
That was marginal, shoulder on shoulder. And that was a good hit. And if you're saying that's a high tackle, let's play tap rugby.
There's the shot. I mean, he was scragged, he was going down, and you're gonna have that contact, surely. This is rugby. This is Bradby. This is Shield rugby. This is the state of origin of Sri Lankan schoolboy rugby.
Well, the letter of the law will tell you that was a seatbelt tackle, gents. I know how frustrating it is sitting up here in the box or even watching it at home, courtesy of Singer, bringing you the Bradby for the 32nd year in the row. 75 years it's been in play and nothing has been able to stop it. Here's the last time Royal College have won at home for the last 4 times. Lost only in 2014, Trinity under Tharinda Ratwatta. And will 2019 come onto that list? Will it be a lost column or a won column?
That's I think there's a substitution. Was it Mahdi Abdullah? He's had a grand game. Absolute corker of a game. The big man all over the park. And speaking of seatbelt tackles, I think it's one of those 4-point harness seatbelts in it. Probably the top point. Well, if that's the letter of the law, I think rugby overall is just going a bit soft, gentlemen.
Mahdi Abdullah probably would have played his final Bradby here at Royal Complex. Kojana comes back in at 9, so that is Trinity to full force.
Royal now looking to drive. The referee says use it once. As the maul keeps going forward. Can Trinity bring this down? Yes, they have. Yes, they have. But Royal picks and goes, and there's a long whistle.
Are we going to see a fourth yellow card in this game? Bandaranaike walking up to the referee with his eyes wide open, wondering what he's going to be on the receiving end of this time.
Don't be surprised if it's another yellow, Shanaka. It has been that kind of a day.
Well, it's just a penalty, gentlemen, so we can breathe easy.
Yasojana knocks it into touch and look for a 3 in a row to Adahan.
Well, certainly a lot of pressure, you know, pressure on the boys, pressure on the crowd, pressure on us here, and most importantly, pressure on the officials, you know, so it's how you handle it, gentlemen.
Nicely taken at number 4. That was Radishan. Royal players appealing for Trinity coming in at the side, but referee allowing it to go on. And it was Jayasuriya once again. Rajendra Jayasuriya scored a brace at the back of the scrum. It's looking like the Brumbies here.
Yes, action replay, isn't it, Shanaka? Royal going to Fadil Adahan, the man who can reach for the ceiling and paint the rafters. Clean take, they bring the point down and they just drive over. Right time.
I think Trinity should put a lot of pressure in that number 2 channel. Not giving that easy ball to Adahan to bring it down is one. And then if it goes to this rolling ball, it's hard to stop, isn't it?
Well, look, easier said than done. I think Trinity need a step ladder. You know, Adahan is so good right at the front. That's probably his 71st take in the entire season. That is how good this kid is. You know.
New man on the park to take the kicks. Dulan Gunawardena looks like he might be off.
Is that Malisha Pereira? Apologies, ladies and gentlemen. We can't quite see this gentleman's number. Yes, it is Malisha Pereira, those patented fancy boots. So he looks up in his unique little stance.
15 minutes left in this game. This is going to be a crucial kick. And Trinity almost charging that one down, and ball just squirting away to the right.
This is an important moment for Trinity. They have to keep believing because they have the full 15 on the park now and score next. This is where then the game, the belief will come back and they need to score next. Again, they started off the half very well. Crucial points in a game. Before half, after half they scored, but not in between. This is a very crucial opportunity for Trinity.
17 points to 13 in the second leg. Trinity College lead 47 points to 34. Royal College lead the 75th Bradby Shield encounter. You're watching the second leg live from the Royal College Sports Complex, courtesy of Singer Sri Lanka. And a thumping clearance. And Trinity have the ball through Kujana Kulatunga.
Gishapa Kulatunga comes in place of Janindu Ratnayaka. Or in fact, it's Amit Kulatunga has been taken out. So final Bradby for him as well. These are the two coaches, Ferretti and Dushant Liuke, the head coach for Royal College, unbeaten 2002 team.
Here's Samarasinghe again. That's a better kick from him. He was looking for that but didn't quite judge the wind the last time. Dulan Gunawardena is on the park. He's moved to the wing perhaps, and manages to run this one outside of the 22. Samadhi Induvara has been prominent in the last few minutes of this game, carrying strongly. And Yasojana will look for Kalindu Nandila. Prashant Bandaranaike once again safe under the high ball, but it's not a great kick.
That was a bit poor from Trinity there. That was the wrong tactics. They need to keep ball in hand.
I think Royal now have spotted that they're kicking back. So now they have three people waiting for that kick. Now it's time to run the ball because there are open gaps. And Trinity had the counter-attacking opportunity as well.
And this time it's fielded by Janindu Ratnayaka. And again they kick. Radhishan brought down by Bandaranayake. Royal still pinned inside their 22. They will want to get out of jail here. Yasojana. Good tackle that time by the big number 21, Zaid Faisal. So Trinity bringing on 3 experienced forwards off the bench, and the fresh legs making a little bit of a difference for them. It's a good clearance in the end, although Yasojana slipped.
It's very dangerous, isn't it? If you land on the back, that can be one of the dangerous things it can happen. It's that kind of a surface this is. Didn't have much. Here's a live scores 20-21. Isipatana leading by a point. Boy, you're getting closer to close for that draw that you predicted.
All I can say, numbers don't lie. Stat spurt, well, we're bang on the money.
Methwara. And that's a good steal from Royal that time.
I thought there was a slight knock-on there, but nonetheless, play on.
Knock-on by Royal is what referee Abekun seems to be saying. Yasojana, by Trinity rather. Taken beautifully by Reshan Bandaranayake. Goodness, he's been very good today at the back. Christian Cullen-like performance, if I'm not overstating it.
It was his 7th clean take.
Mekan Yashwant. Kujana Kulatunga now. Big tackle on Samarasinghe, and a good steal as well from Tuleb Hassan. Interesting to see that one again. Tuleb Hassan seemed to have snaffled the ball, and he was given it for holding on.
Well, there you go. Pass comes in, and that's Samarasinghe bangs. That's a good chop tackle straight over the top. Was that a ruck? Did the referee call ruck at the tackler? Because you have to understand, Hassan wasn't the tackler. There was a chop tackle, and then Hassan went straight over the top.
But the tackler has to roll away.
Which he did, because Hassan wasn't the tackler.
Well, there could have been any number of things that happened there. Khalidun Andila may or may not have rolled away. Hassan was over the top. There was no issues there. But once he picked the ball up, Tehan Karunanayake looked like he ripped it off him quite legitimately. So, yeah, lots of stuff happening there.
Yeah, though, there's a clean steal. Nothing wrong with it.
Another untidy line out. So it's been a bit of a dog's ear of a game in that sense. The line out has let everyone down, and the underfoot conditions really affecting the greasiness of this ball as well. Yasojana will probably look to go to his boot here. No, instead he will go to Nandila. Radhishan, full of carrying. Nandil again, now they'll look to spread it. Tuleb Hassan stays on his feet, so strong in the carry. Step again from Malisha Pereira. We haven't seen much of him in this Bradby. Player who has been plagued by injuries this season. One of the real talent for Royal. Busting up the middle, Royal latching on. Radesh Vijayaratna with Lahiru Yomal propelling him. That pass was nice and flat for the player to run onto. And Nipuna Yasojana looks to the short side again, looks for his big forwards. This is where Royal have really made a dent after half-time. They've used their forwards. Lennox Kalyaranatha with a big hit behind the gain line. Here's Adahan running on the inside shoulder of Ekanayake. Ekanayake, who's losing a little bit of fitness. Khalidun Andila, Lehan Gunaratna, Malisha Pereira now. Radhishan is right on the spot.
There's the steal, straight over the top. Great stuff by Trinity. Trinity not panicking. They didn't infringe. Waited for the right moment, straight over the top, and clinches the steal.
Couple of concerns for Royal College. One is Tuleb Hassan is on the ground. We know that he has cramp issues. In the meantime, Minindu Jayasundar has been taken out, and Meeranga Subasinghe comes in for Trinity at fly half. But Royal are now a contender for that league because Wesley beat Jose yesterday. And that will be a concern for them to see Tuleb Hassan lying on the ground. But they will first want to seal this here in the next nine or so minutes.
Well, the gap is 13 points, gentlemen. So Trinity need to score and convert twice. So they need 2 tries and they need to convert it. Now there's about 9 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, one converted try will bring that belief again. So that's what they need to first score of this set play, score.
So Trinity haven't been great in the second half, gents. That's something that we can't get away from. Again, an untidy line out.
That's a maul.
Maul, says the referee, and it might have been taken in by Royal. So Trinity will like to get that one back.
Well, they've got to blow this up surely, which they do now. So that's the maul. So they lost it, Trinity, and they managed to snaffle it back thanks to some good defense. And the referee very clear there. He took probably a little bit longer. However, the right result.
Looks like Ekanayaka has gone down. Good steal by Dulanjit Nethwara on the far side, giving them that penalty, led to the line out, and then good defensive effort that time by Royal, but couldn't make the most of it.
Yeah, Nimesh Ekanayaka and Dulanjit Nethwara, they are holding up for Trinity.
Mekan Yashwant has been good since he came on.
Achita Radishan goes out. What a performance by him in that number 6 jersey for Royal. Here's the Trinity coaching setup in Timarika. The head coach. And Rodney Soyalo just walking past.
Achita Rajesan has been outstanding for Royal. 7 minutes left. Will they miss him for that 7 minutes? I would say yes, because he has been really one of the live wires of this Royal pack, absolutely everywhere, stealing the ball, carrying the ball, making the tackles.
Some news updates, photos, videos and reports at www.thepapare.com/CWC19 from the Cricket World Cup.
Sri Lanka playing Australia today, of course. Nobody cares about that as long as they're watching the Bradby. Brought to you by Singer. 32 years of sponsoring the Bradby. Massive hit, but Rashan Bandaranayaka does well to hit an angle that allowed him to stay on his feet. Here's Subasinger. Straight through the gap he goes. Nice little offload to Ismail, who has been playing really well today. Nicely stolen there by Royal. Looked like that player came in from the side, but referee allowing the play on because it happens so quickly. And Royal now have the ball with them once again after having their defense breached.
So Royal will look to stage manage this. They just slightly widen the point of attack, placing the ball down. 1 out, 1 back. It'll be a pick and go. Yes, it will. The ball goes back to Nandila, who puts a wobbly little kick. That's Bandaranayaka. He's hit slightly late, was it?
Dulan Gunawardena needs to, if he's fronting up so much, needs to throw a punch. Because
might as well.
There's a lot of handbags going on.
That's right, you got to walk the talk, Chilibut. That is right.
Unfortunately, they're not in a boxing ring. And for the amount of cards today, they will not want to lift that hand. And that's a penalty for Royal.
Well, that's unfortunate end result there. A bit of line offside, I believe. That was the call as the ball floats into the stands. And I must say, looking at the grandstands, a wonderful crowd on hand. And at times I wonder, is this an episode from The Real Housewives of Colombo?
I wouldn't know, boy, I don't watch that program.
Well, neither do I. It's the wife who watches it on pay TV. I just pay the bills.
And Jasure, who scored his 2 tries now, will throw into this line out with Royal looking to seal this Bradby. Don't forget, even if they do seal this Bradby and don't score, Trinity would have won this game, which is a moral victory. Dinuk, if somebody offered you this at the start of the game, you'd have taken it.
Yeah, definitely. I first thing wanted to is win the game. If it comes with a 17-pointer, it's a bonus. Trinity have taken a quick tap.
Janox Kalyanaratne. Here's Kujana Kulatunga opting to go on his own. Smashed in the tackle. Now they need a scrum half. Subasinger. Nice work there by the Trinity player just to stay on his feet long enough. Here's Kulatunga again. Ismail looked like it might have been slightly forward, that ball, but referee said play on. Nimesh Ekanayaka. Kalyana Ratna smashed by Kevin Samarasinghe that time. And another penalty for Royal. It looked like they might take it quickly. But several penalties early on for consistent penalties, but late on in the game, we're not seeing many.
39 to 33. It may become 34 with 5 minutes on the clock. It's getting closer and closer, this tally.
That's right, Royal looking to go 5 on the trot. Very dominant here. They certainly flex their muscles. That's Kalyan Ratna there, taking it forward. And the ruck was called.
Steady, boys. Steady.
And now it's Kujana Kulatunga to feed in a crucial scrum at the moment. 5 minutes to go. You have to think that this game might be a mountain too high for Trinity to climb at the moment. As Kulatunga goes on the short side, not sure that was the wisest decision. But the forwards will rumble it on towards the try line. Mekani Aswant, Zaid Faisal. So the bench players making a difference for Trinity. Straight through the gap. Beautiful step. Can't get the ball away though. Did well to hold on. Lovely burst from Abdul Rahman. And that's a great offload. Nimesh Ekanayaka bustling his way towards the line. Up to the 5-meter mark. Kujana Kulatunga. Reshan Bandaranayaka does well to give this ball away. Nicely in, and Kujana Kulatunga will score. They've got to take this conversion really quickly, and I'll tell you what, even if Royal take this Bradby home, Trinity have scored some of the best tries.
Oh, what an inspirational piece of play. Man, that is just simply and utterly brilliant work. Kujana Kulatunga there, looking for the work. He was chasing the gap, and guess what? The gap opened and then he goes through. There you go, there's Ekanayaka. Looks to offload, which he does. I beg your pardon, that was Ekanayaka taking it forward. Places the ball. There's the quick release. We go to the short side. Bandaranayaka there. On the inside, circumnavigates the globe. Try time.
Just before the first leg, I said if Trinity if the ball sticks in their hands, they will score 40 points, and that's the kind of quality this team is. They play lovely patterns. On the day, it's so beautiful. If it doesn't come off, it's like the first leg. The kick is through. It's now a 6-pointer game. A try and a conversion. Back again.
2.5 minutes for Trinity to make absolute history. This will be the greatest comeback in the history of this 75 years if they're able to do it. Are they able to do it? They've won this game. I think we can comfortably say that. It's a lovely pass inside from from Miranga Subasinghe, and Kujana Kulatunga scores.
Oh, look, Shanaka, Trinity, their season were at a crossroads today, and guess what? They responded. Bigger the challenge, bigger the response. You got to give these Trinitians all the credit, and guess what? Game on. Yes, it is.
24 points to 13 in this game. 47 points to 41 on aggregate. Trinitians on the edge of their seats. Royalists on the edge of their seats, wherever you are in the world, whether it's the wee hours of the morning or late at night, wherever you may be watching this. And that's a great charge down. Brilliant work from Royal that time. And again,
that was the correct call. The tackler must roll away. He was just laying and praying, as they have done most of this afternoon, I must admit.
Well, Trinity were probably better off tapping and going there, even from their own half, even from their own 22. Reshan Bandaranayaka has been good, and we have to think of a man of the match as well. And there have been several good performances today.
Look, I think for his work rate and some inspirational leadership, Bandaranayaka.
Yeah, I agree. He didn't want to let the Trinity fans down, and I'm sure even if Trinity loses the Shield today, he has not let down the Trinity fans.
Certainly not, as Royal stormed through that line out. and snuffle the ball. That probably throws the chances of Trinity wresting the Bradby away with it. Got 40 seconds to play on the game clock. But Reshan Bandaranayake has been absolutely fantastic at the back. He sparked some counter-attacks. He's been good in his leadership, his communication as well. And he has sparked this Trinity team from absolute doldrums after the first leg and that defeat against St. Peter's to come back and score a famous win at the Royal College Sports Complex.
Oh, that's right, Trinity. They were down and out. They were in the doldrums. They were in the oblivion. But this is what leadership is all about. You take the bull by the horns and you show some pride and earn some respect. And I think Trinity have done that today, regardless of who wins or loses the shield.
Well, Trinity hearts were
Go back.
broken at the end of that first game. But this time, they really have given their fans something to shout about.
So is it unanimous, gentlemen, the player of the match, the clear men player of the match, Reshan Bandaranayake from Trinity?
An uncontested man of the match. Trusted excellence from Singer. Excellence from Bandaranayake as well. They've got one more opportunity, Trinity. Do they have it in them to run this first phase ball in for a 7-pointer, gentlemen?
Is this the last roll of the dice? Is this the last roll of the dice for Trinity? It has come down to the wire. Will it be ghost protocol? Will we have to go to the judge? Will we have to go for a photo finish?
You have called it 100%. I wish this also succeeds. And will we see Harsha Samarasinghe under the post?
Set. Steady, boys.
30 seconds will tell.
Well, we made the call. Let's see.
How important was that time period where Kujana Kulatunga was in the bin, Dinuk? Here it is coming for Janinda Ratnayake, who hasn't been in the game too much. Mekan Yaswant trying to show his coach that he deserves a starting position next week. Taken forward by Shakya Senanayake. Hassan right in there. Manfully to the last. Harsha Samarasinghe not able to get any go forward and stolen away from Royal. Outstanding work that time from Rehan Manilkar. And Royal will just thump this one over the rafters. Nipunaya Sojana has ended the game for Royal, and despite an ultimate scare, 47 points to 21, Royal have kept the Bradby for the third year in a row and retained the shield for the fifth year in the row as well.
Trinity, my heart goes out to you. What a amazing performance. You played with some true Trinity grit and spirit.
Yeah, lion-hearted performance there from Trinity College. 24 points to 30 in the full time they have finished. But they were so close, Boa. 6 points separate in the Bradby. Sometimes it's a bit disheartening. When you lose by 17, it doesn't matter. But when you lose by 6, some of those moments that you remember again when Kojana Kulatunga was sent out, those are the moments that you'll remember. You see the Trinity, yes, they're shocked. But this team has not let down their fans, the Trinity fans. They put their heart out and they won the game. Doesn't matter, but this will give a lot of confidence because they will play the first leg next year here, and that's the target point, thrash Royal next year.
Oh, look, I think it's about culture, isn't it? Before kickoff we were talking about it, and I think Trinity, they've got the right ingredients, they've got the right essence, they're doing the right things, they're trying to build a true Trinity culture. Yes, they didn't get the result, unfortunately. However, I think everyone must stand shoulder to shoulder and admire this incredible Trinity performance.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, Boa, because it's all about culture, like you said. There is no morning to evening practices. They are just practice in the evenings, and the boys enjoy rugby, and studies is part of life. And I like the way with the culture that Trinity has come so far. And from here on, it's lifting your chin up and going into that next couple of games against St. Thomas's. Again, it's Canon RH Desairam Trophy up for grabs, but tough travels to Colombo. But let's not ruin the moment for Royal. 17 points in Pallakali, and they came and lost the game here. Managed to hold that 6 point. 2 rolling maul tries, that sealed the game.
Yeah, and I can't help but think that yellow card really killed the contest. It was unfortunate, the call was made, but I have to go back and think, what if it was a 6-pointer? 7 points, Trinity would have grabbed or wrested back the shield in most incredible circumstances. But whatever said and done, as you said, all credit to this Arinma Royal first 15. They really played like true champions. What a game of rugby. What an incredible advertisement. As in picture you see the Royal first 15 smiles of relief.
Yeah, it is not much celebrations for. It's smiles of relief because they know that they lost the game. But by just 6 points take the shield. Win is a win, it doesn't matter. Royal will take the shield back for the 5th consecutive year. This is the final score, 24 points to 13. Trinity winning by 11, but losing the Bradby by 6. What a performance by Trinity College. But Royal, hats off to them. They managed to hold on.
Yes, they did. They did what was necessary.
Just you can see, Luke is focused on the league. He's bringing the team back to warm down. Very important. This is how the second half started. Trinity gave their own medicine back to Royal inside Jurassic Park.
That's right. There you go. The driving ball. That was desperate defense from Royal. They bring it down illegally. They pull it down. There's the referee's gesture. And wow, look at that drive. Look at the leg pump. Right time. And here's Royal's turn now. That was Adan. He takes the ball down. Well controlled. Very hard to stop this once they get momentum on.
Yeah, it's very hard to stop a Royal Mall because it's so structured. Body positions are so nice. There's only way you can sack or lock the mall. That's the only way you can. So to lock, you have to have like a scrum set up to lock the mall. That's the only way you can do it. But easier said than done because you have to come off a line out and form.
That's right. And Royal are so very good at executing this driving ball off the line out. There's another example. The advantage coming. Referee Shankar holding out his hand.
This is where Trinity lost control. The yellow card came off for Kujana. That's where it came off. But again, they didn't lose heart till the end. And look at this try. Nimesh Ekanayaka went into contact from the ball. Quick recycle ball of Kujana Kulatunga. Couple of quick, lovely passes off to Gishapa Kulatunga. He has been scoring tries on that occasion. A lovely inside pass to Kujana Kulatunga, who had an outstanding game.
Oh, look, he was a super sub. He was the power player. Unfortunately, 10 minutes in the bin, that was probably the winning or the losing of the Bradby Shield.
Yeah, it could have been, it could have not. But you never know how Bradby Shield encounter. This is the Bradby Shield encounter that we all wanted. 2 tries to 4. Trinity College coming on top. Conversions are good. 1 penalty against them. And then half-time score stood at 12 points to 3. And then full-time 24 points to 13. They have doubled the score here, but they have given away too much points. Rashan Bandarnaika was outstanding for a man of the match performance.
Oh, fantastic. Look, a true Trinity lion-like performance. He played with heart. It was inspirational. Every time he picked the ball up in the air and went forward, it gave me goosebumps. I'm an old Royalist, but wow, what a performance. That was one for the ages. And I have to give the Trinity coaching staff, my good friend Inti Marika, All Black, former All Black, I beg your pardon, Rodney Soyalo, and Kavinda, someone who I played against in my time. They've done an outstanding job. They've really molded these guys under trying circumstances. And Trinity, to all you Trinity fans out there, I will say this, you're not far away. That shield is coming back to Kandy. It's not far away.
I hope so. I hope so. Next year when we come here, I'll be a lot confident because, not myself, but the team will be a lot confident because they've been losing here for 4 years. They have won one here. So that'll give them a psychological boost coming back.
That's right. So Trinity's record now improves to 7-12 from a 6-12. As you see on screen, a very tired, a bruised and battered Trinity. What a Herculean performance.
You can see the tears of Amit Kulatunga there. His final here. The boy has played his heart out from 2017.
It's a Karthik moment, isn't it? All that emotion, it's just going to come out. I remember my last year, Bogambara, we were comfortably ahead, but, I couldn't help but shed a few tears because I knew my time to wear the blue and gold, the sacred jersey was over. And of course, close losses, nothing new in Bradby Shield folklore. I take my mind back to 1997. If you read this year's Royal Souvenir, I've given a good recount of exactly what happened. I was actually guilty of giving away that penalty. But, as much as it pains me to admit and say, yes, I gave that away, what an incredible Bradby memory.
So the Royal cry goes out here at the Royal Sports Complex. They have won the Bradby Shield by 6, and this is a happy bunch of students there from Reed Avenue, because the Bradby will be just walked across the race course to the school, and we'll be back. Here are the Trinity Lions. They know it was a gutsy performance. That's Reshan's father, Rajiv Bandaranaike, played in 1987 in that last unbeaten team for Trinity. But what a performance. We will go for a short commercial break as the Trinitians thank their crowd in tears, and we'll come back for the presentation ceremony.
Singer pantry cupboards. Elegance. Crafted excellence. Durability. Custom made. Available at all Singer Homes and Singer Mega showrooms. Singer Furniture. Inspiration for modern living.
ඔයාද උයනකම් මම පවන් ගහන්නංකෝ. දරුවට දැන් හරි රස්නේ. ඔයා ඒසී එකක් ගෙනාවද?
ලංකාවේ හොඳම තැනින් හොඳම ඒසී එකක් පොඩි ගාණක් ගෙවලා ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඉතුරු ටික ගෙවන්න පුළුවන්. දරුවා සතුටින් තියෙන එක තමයි අපි හැමෝගෙම සතුට. ඒකයි මම සිංහ එකෙන්ම ඒසී එකක් ගත්තේ. සිංහ වායු සමීකරණ සෙනෙහසේ සිසිලස.
Welcome back. 75th Bradby Shield couldn't have been better. One in Colombo, one in Kandy. Either team take a piece. But if you have missed the 70 minutes of that rugby, I think you have missed one of the best rugby dished out in, I think this year, Boa, up in Pallakele and down in Royal Sports Complex. The game was fantastic.
Absolutely. It was like two heavyweight boxers going at it for 12 rounds. And right at the end, simply refusing to throw in the towel, and both corners, as it was the case here, where both coaches calling both sides to the respective benches, and almost like they refused to take a knee or take a seat on the stool. And it was riveting stuff. This is the sort of stuff we live for. This is what you live to play rugby and watch it for.
Yeah, this is what Bradby is all about. Underdog team comes up and comes on top. That happened today.
I mean, look at this. No one's leaving the complex. Everyone is stunned. They are absolutely immersed in this extraordinary experience where two schoolboy teams have gone at it for 70 minutes and they're still standing. And, we're not sure whether we should laugh or we should cry.
Yeah, there are two emotions seated here, isn't it? Trinity and Royal. But what it is everybody is here because Trinity won today and Royal take the shield to appreciate rugby of that 140 minutes of rugby, which was, in the end, scoreboard separates two teams, but you can't separate these lads on the park. That's Reshan Bandaranaike. He can keep his head held high because his team pulled off a stunner here today.
Leadership, isn't it? And I'll take my memory back 2 weeks for the post Bradby first leg dinner. And Rashan was very adamant that next time he would be standing, he'd have the shield. Well, guess what, son? You were close, and I take my hat off. I'm an old royalist. Congratulations, Trinity. Congratulations to the leadership you showed today, the inspiration. And also congratulations to Royal for coming out swinging when they were down on the canvas. And beating Royal at Jurassic Park is no simple feat. So I think Trinity can take some real comfort. And I think their fans, they're really content. They're just over the moon that, they've witnessed an amazing game of rugby.
Yeah, every Trinityan I spoke to coming to the ground today, we were happy with the win. If it comes with a 17-pointer, we will take it with both hands. And I'll tell you what, Rashan and the team just gave us that, a bit of adrenaline pumping. We were there, but just couldn't go over. But on the other side, Royal College, there is the gold and blue, sea of gold and blue in the stands. They're proud. They're proud of their boys' achievements. They have put so much into this. And we have the Bradby presentation. Of course, we have to remind that the Simitrarchi was won by Trinity College, 26 points to 0. And it'll be one apiece again. And we move to Shanaka Amarasinghe, who is standing there for the presentation ceremony. Over to you, Shanaka.
A warm welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this presentation trophy of not just another Bradby Shield, but the historic 75th Bradby Shield. A round of applause, please, for all the teams that competed on today's rugby pitch. What an outstanding game of rugby we have seen. 47 points to 41 is what the score was. Nobody anticipated that after the end of the first leg when Royal took a 17-point lead into the second leg. But we have witnessed what could have been the mother of all comebacks. But it was an epic fight back from Royal also towards the end of the game to hold on to the shield. To give away the awards this evening, I would like to please call upon our chief guest onto the podium, the captain of 1982 Royal College team, former Sri Lanka cap and CRNFC player, our chief guest, Mr. Hiran Ted Muthaya. He will be joined on the podium by the principal of Trinity College, Mr. Andrew Fowler-Watt, the principal of Royal College, the hosts, Mr. B.A. Aberatna, Mr. Harit Jayasuriya, who had the unenviable task of being the chairman of the Royal College Rugby Match Organising Committee, Mr. Mohan Pandithage, chairman Singer Sri Lanka PLC, our generous sponsors who are with the Bradby for the 32nd year in a row, Mr. Mahesh Vijayawardena, chief executive officer, Singer Sri Lanka PLC, Mr. Kumar Samarasinghe, marketing director, Singer Sri Lanka PLC, Mr. Shane De Silva, Prefect of Games, Trinity College, Mr. Riazi Aluha, Senior Games Master, Royal College, and Mr. Rajiv Malalasekara, Chairman, Rugby Advisory Committee, Royal College, and coincidentally also the captain of the 50th Bradby Shield. A big round of applause for our presentation party, ladies and gentlemen. What an outstanding game it was, ladies and gentlemen. And if Trinity fans are downhearted at the moment, perhaps next year and the scoreline of this year's Simitrarchi will give you a little bit of heart with a winning margin of 62 points to 5. May I call upon Mr. Harit Jayasuriya and Mr. Hiran Muthaya to give away the Simitrarchi trophy to the captain of Trinity College. Congratulations to Trinity for taking away the Simitrarchi trophy. Much beloved principal of Trinity College at the same time that Mr. E.L. Bradby was principal of Royal College. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like now to call upon Mr. Hiran Muthaya to present the coveted shield. But before that, It was a mountain to climb for Trinity, who were ironically coming down the mountain to Colombo. And they were faced with a 17-point deficit. And in the end, they managed to claw 11 of those back and win the second leg and win some respect for the jersey that they wear so proudly. And before we give the trophy away, please give a round of applause to Trinity College. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to give away the Bradby Shield for the 75th time. What an honor it is to be present on this podium today, and what honor it is to receive the trophy from a past captain. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, for Royal College and Tuleb Hassan. Congratulations, Royal College. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you next year.
Thank you, Shanaka. That's the shield that is retained for 5 years at Reed Avenue. Third consecutive win for them. Just your moment, Boa.
Well, I remember back in 1998, that very shield the team I played won. When we brought it down to Colombo, I had a brand new towel which I wrapped the shield in to make sure that we didn't put a single scratch on it. That's how sacred it was. This is the holy grail of all Sri Lankan rugby, the absolute blue ribbon. And you know what? Having won the shield, I can now say it is the absolute pinnacle of your schoolboy career. And these boys would now experience this. That said, Trinity, you didn't win or you weren't successful this time, but you can hold your head high. But that is what Bradby spirit is all about.
There is Tuleb Hassan, who will lift this Bradby shield, which has been used from 1945 at the famous Royal Sports Complex Pavilion for the third consecutive year. Tuleb Hassan and his men, congratulations. And it has been one superb performance.
The mighty T-Rex rose again. They live to fight another day at Jurassic Park. The boys are over the moon. No one's left. The crowd is here. This is incredible. This is straight out of Ben-Hur, isn't it? It's bigger than Ben-Hur.
Yeah, the crowd staying back. And the celebrations will slowly come to a close. The reason being because there is not like the good old days where you have the Bradby the last game of the season. You have to keep playing the next 2 rounds of the league.
That's right. Look at that. A sea of heads. Absolutely incredible scenes as Trinity hold up the Simiti Arachi trophy. Trinity having absolute dominance over Royal in this age bracket, the under-18s.
You can see few sad faces there because the big one they were aiming for has been lifted on the opposite side by the Royalists, and the Simitachi has been lifted on the opposite. You can see the Trinity under-18 team and the Royal First 15 team facing each other and lifting both trophies.
Oh, it's a poetic moment, isn't it? I mean, you couldn't write this sort of stuff in the stars. No one's leaving, everyone's hanging about. It's just incredible.
It has been that kind of a day, but the rugby will never stop on ThePapare.com. And also, in the coming weeks, here's the Canon RS Deserum Trophy, St. Thomas's versus Trinity, coming up next week from Mount Lavinia. St. Peter's versus St. Joseph's. Again, a shield trophy game. And then Royal versus Isipatana. 3 trophy games next week. We are bettering off Super Saturday.
Oh, I think, look, it's amazing. You know, the action just keeps coming. This is the gift which just never stops giving. The Singer Schools League, followed by obviously the Science versus Wesley. Wesley, the dark horse, the form horse, coming right into their own, upsetting the previously unbeaten St. Joseph's yesterday at Longdon Place. correct prediction, 5 and under, bang, we got it.
But there are a lot more will be to be predicted in the coming weeks because there is a lot of schools rugby action. And if you're on ThePapare.com, just subscribe on your YouTube channel and click the bell button because you will get notifications of every video that we post on ThePapare.com that we cover from England, from Sri Lanka, anywhere in the world. If there's a Sri Lankan sport, ThePapare.com will be there. And it's a privilege for us to do the Bradby Shield, 75th Bradby Shield in particular. And that brings us to the end of the coverage. Thank you, Boa Atu, for joining us on the commentary box all the way from New Zealand. Shanaka Amarasinghe, my co-commentator, the production crew, led by Malisha Pereira, Dishan Disa and Ganisha David. From all of us here at ThePapare.com, we say goodbye, congratulating Royal College.